Pastor Manning is viral again. And every time this guy's viral, it ain't for nothing good. I don't really force myself to just make videos about people, but some folks you just got to address, and you're going to see why. You're going to see why here, because it's a teaching moment. And yes, I'm going to destroy this MF for today. You can bet your last dollar I'm going to kill him. I'm going to destroy him. Now listen, not only am I going to destroy this pastor today for what he done, because he got to get a whipping for it, okay? I'm going to teach, and I'm going to use him to be an example and a warning for all you other pastors with the same kind of dialogue. Let's get it, man. Pastor Manning said black people ain't never built nothing. And a lot of people agree with him. Do you agree with him? Let's start now with the video reviews. Let's
ask God to help us, because only God can help black people where they are. Black people had Africa, that big old continent over there. They never built one boat that was seaworthy, not one.
Hi guys, my name is Modi and you.
This man said black people never built one boat that was seaworthy, right? Here's the thing. What historical account is this pastor going by? The white man's history book or the Bible? According to the Bible, black people are the children of Israel, and the reason we at the bottom ain't because we didn't build nothing. We at the bottom because we turned away from God. See, I gotta deal with the pastor from a biblical perspective, because one historical timeline says it was a transatlantic slave trade, all of that. You got a historical timeline that says, you know, black people came off a slave ship, and then we didn't build the slave ships that brought us over here. But when we got off them slave ships, we built the whole country. So on one hand, we were stupid niggas who couldn't even build our own ships. But on the other hand, the people that came at us so we can build their houses. Somebody ain't just think about what I just said. Let me repeat that one more time. You telling me that the people who built ships couldn't build their own houses?
Oh my God.
You telling me that the people that built the Nina, Pina, and Santa Maria couldn't even harvest their own corn and cotton? They didn't even introduce the cotton gin, even though their whole economy depended on slavery and cotton. It was a black slave that made your cotton gin? You didn't even make that? How you don't make the thing that you need the most? Listen, people. Pastors like this got to be checked. They got to be silenced. I need an army behind me. I need you to hit the like button, the share button if you on the side of righteousness. I'm not going to waste your time making content that don't need to be made. It's a lot of things I can be doing on my Sunday besides giving this dumb pastor a wedgie, which he deserve it. And let's continue. Now, let's check this out, people. You're going to tell me black people ain't never built nothing. But the people who y'all sucking off enslaved us so we can build for their ass. Like, they literally came to our land and saw pyramids and architecture, big, beautiful structures. And what we didn't have was military power. Let's talk to this pastor, but first we gotta break this truth down. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me play the video so you can see why I'm turned up. Let's get it.
It is without mincing words. Let's go.
Ask God to help us, because only God can help black people where they are. Black people had Africa, that big old continent over there. They never built one boat that was seaworthy, not one.
Now guess who taught him that? The slave master's history book. That ain't in the Bible, y'all. That is not in the Bible now. What he just said. Right. Why is a pastor standing up in the pulpit teaching something that's anti-biblical? Why is a pastor standing up in the pulpit teaching something that is not a biblical account of history, but the oppressor's account of history? In case y'all didn't know, the oppressor's account of history don't align with the biblical account. So whenever you get a pastor that's trying to make these far-right racist talking points, you can always beat them with their own Bible, y'all.
That's right.
The Bible don't say, see, the Bible speaks specifically about a group of people that's going to be enslaved. It was prophesied. Pastor acting like, okay, see, y'all got to realize, I don't agree with everything that the Bible say. I'm not a Bible pusher. I'm telling you that this pastor is a Bible pusher. And if you're going to push the Bible, push it. Don't be adding and taking away from it. I'm not going to let you do that to the real Christians. There are real Bible pushers out there, and they only push the Bible. They don't come with the man-made history. They don't even care what the scientists say and the physicists say. If it ain't in the Bible, they ain't going for it. Now, that is a true Bible pusher. All your rest of you folks, you faking with it. You ain't all the way in. And I got to point out that this pastor faking with it. You can't skip back and forth between historical timelines. Now, either you have subscribed to the Bible's account of history, or you subscribe to the slave master's account of history. Now, they both the same, but they're two different accounts. You can't have them both. The slave master gave one account of history to the woke person, and see, the slave master wanted to keep us in a slave mentality, a servant mentality. So if you accept the biblical history, it's going to tell you to love your master, turn the other cheek. It's going to create the kind of Negro they want anyway that ain't a threat. And if you take the idea that, well, the white man just bigger and badder than you, you never built nothing, so you might as well bow down, and if you can't beat them, join them. Either way, both of them doctrines going to make you a victim, y'all.
That's right.
If you take the slave history account for your identity and you subscribe to that, you're going to become a defeated victim. If you take the biblical account, you just another nigga on their knees too. You ain't a threat neither way. And that was the point. So don't take none of these accounts, because the truth is what? Somewhere in the middle of both of them. Now let's get it.
Right.
Let's get it. Listen to what this man say. We're going to beat up on it. Now listen.
There's not one monument in Africa, in all of Africa. I know you're talking about Egypt. Egypt is not Africa.
Listen to.
There are no great cities that were built, even before the first colonization of white people.
This man said that black people never had no great cities that was built. He never. This is what I'm telling you about dumb ass Southern country nigga pastors. This is dangerous, man. Because you got these pork chop eating, GMO, genetically modified, cooking with lard every day, goddamn pastor. You're praising the Lord and you're eating the Lord, son. And this is a damn shame. I'm tired of having to tell niggas something that ain't got no necks. See, these no-neck pastors are a problem, man. I'm telling now, pastors with necks don't do this hard. It's something about the no-neck pastors. Like they traded their goddamn neck for a giblet. He don't got a neck no more. He got one of them little things that the chickens got. It's a little old giblet. This dumb-ass pastor never heard of Angkor Wat. He never heard of Kukulkan. We need, see, stay in your lane. That's why I said, if you gonna Bible push, Bible push. Somebody said he from New York. Oh man, you making New York niggas look bad. This sound like dumb country shit, son. You telling me you from New York talking like a dumb country bumpkin? Son, I supposed to be talking like this. Now, I'm from the South, son. Damn, that's crazy. I'm from the Bible-pushing ass South, and I'm not talking like this. And I got respect for niggas up north because most of them are gods. They're enlightened. They're conscious. I'm not going to hate on it. Up north niggas are ahead of the curve when it comes to self-awareness. And no, Sanchez ain't D-riding. I'm just keeping it real. Niggas in the South is with the, we on the dumb shit right now. And yeah, we got a lot of bright minds in the South and old blood of geniuses. But they doing a number with us right now, and I'm breaking it up in a regional thing because this kind of pastor poke chopping, you see it a lot in the Bible Belt. And I'm shocked to know that this fool is from NY and it ain't, and you ain't got none of that good old knowledge. You got these 5%ers, these Moors. Now I go in on them too. They don't know everything, but they know what you saying is bull crap.
That's right.
They know the basics.
Coming to the shores of Africa or the slave ships, black men built nothing. No sewer system.
You can't find me too many groups in New York talking like this. You telling me this guy from New York ain't no way. Listen, even the worst groups in New York know that black people built a lot of shit. Now, I don't even agree with the New Wapians. I think their doctrine is pseudo. Like, I can go down a line of all the groups in New York that I like to debate, and I think they pseudo. I will even challenge the Nation of Islam. But one thing I won't say about none of these groups is that they don't pride blackness. They don't put black on a pedestal. See, I don't get this. You got a lot of pastors with the Bible. They have to stray away from their Bible to down talk black people. Because if you literally know who black people is in the Bible prophesied that this group of people would be at the bottom. So for you to come and tell that group of people they dumb, stupid, lazy, ignorant, when the Bible said they weren't none of that. The Bible said the children of Israel was the greatest and mightiest people on earth until they fell away from God.
That's right.
It didn't say that the children of Israel became slaves and dumbasses and twerkers because they was lazy, because they was ignorant. Pastor, you need to pick up your Bible, man, for real. You're making white supremacist talking points. You're making racist far-right talking points. But to do that, you got to stray away from the Bible.
That's right.
Because the group of people that you criticizing, their oppression was prophesied in your book, so why you acting lost about it, nigga? You ought to know. You ought to be telling black people, oh yeah, man, we at the bottom and we gonna be there till all of us come back to the Lord. See, I may beef with the Hebrew Israelites, but I would never put the Hebrew Israelites on a level like this. Before I join a Negro's church like this, I would be up under Johanna. I would be an Israelite. I would be some more nigga with a bucket hat on. I'll be one of these guys. I'll be up under Dr. Malachi York before I be up under this guy. And I don't care who don't like what I just said. Malachi York had a message that was more healthier than what he's saying right now. This is dangerous, man. And it's anti-biblical. It's the synagogue of Satan.
Africa or the slave ships, black men built nothing. No sewer system, no houses above one level, and none of them made out of stone. All of them made.
Now his Bible don't say that about the Israelites. A Florida native don't get blocked, man, because I just said, according to the Bible, we the Hebrews. I just said that. I'm using his own Bible against him. See, the Bible don't say that the people in the Bible who's known for being slaves and in slavery, they call the children of Israel. That's who black people is in the Bible. Now, I don't like the biblical account of black people either, but I'm just saying if you're going to be a Bible pusher, push it. I don't have to subscribe to this biblical history of black people. He does. He does. And he's not doing it. He's a charlatan. Because he want to make the same talking points that the racist white people making, he got to go against what the Bible literally said about the people who he's making these talking points against. He's making talking points like black men are incompetent. You're slow. You're ignorant. You're lazy. That's white racist talking points. His Bible don't say that about black people. His Bible didn't say none of that about. His Bible said that black people was at the bottom because they turned away from God. So if you wanted black people to get back to the top and you're a Bible pusher, what would you be teaching them? Black people, we need to turn back to God if we want blessings. Not we need to be good little boys to the white man, or you're too dumb or too stupid. You're too immoral. You're too evil, is what the Bible's saying. The Bible said God got black people at this position because they don't want to listen to God. Not because they don't want to listen to the white man.
That's right.
Why is he turning it into that?
Made out of stone, all of them made out of grass and wood. Black men.
This man said everything that the black man built was made out of grass and wood. But the crazy thing about it, you got big ass Olmec head statues of black people faces carved in them that he don't want to acknowledge. He said the only thing black men made was made out of mud, dirt, and grass and wood. But here go Runoko Rashidi, standing next to a big stone. These things weigh tons, stone structures that black man carved. I can show you cities right now of black Buddhas in Angkor Wat. You can see black people. Look at here. You can see black people. Look at here. These are Negro sculptures that even the Cambodian government will say that there were a group of Negroid Asian people who built Angkor Wat, and this was more high-tech than Egypt. And you can see it, they called it Sambo, the black gods of Asia. But these black people bloodline is still in Cambodia. You got these dark-skinned people that's still there, but they're slaves, though. In Cambodia, if you go to Cambodia right now, you got dark-skinned people that's the same color of Bro Sanchez and all of you black people in the chat room. And guess what? They used to be the kings of their land. They were the black Asiatic man and woman, what they call the Naga, the Sambo black gods. But check it out. Asiatic black people in Southeast Asia whose history is still being told by the government there. But check this out. They just recently found this civilization in the jungle, a Negro Asiatic people who were carving stone more intricately than the Egyptians. Whoever carved this was cutting stone like butter. Look at it. Look at the intricacy in the cut. Man, look at how complicated this is. Like you carving in butter. This make the Egyptian hieroglyphs look like kindergarten artwork. Now compare this kind of carving here to what we see in Egypt. You can't compare it. This is a whole story being told in stone, bro. This ain't just no little symbols like the hieroglyphs in Egypt. So the hieroglyphs in Egypt ain't nothing but little bitty simple symbols carved in stone. This is an entire three-dimensional story illustration carved in stone. It's way more easier to carve the Egyptian hieroglyphs than it is to do something like this with stone, sir.
That's right.
So this pastor just is an uneducated, ignorant Negro who never done no learning outside than what his oppressor has put in his mind about who his people is. And he's spewing that. And it's dangerous. It's toxic.
Stone, all of them made out of grass and wood. Black men, before the white man ever got to Africa. The worst thing that could ever happen to South Africa was when they gave it to Nelson Mandela and black folk. That was a great.
This man gonna say that the worst thing ever happened to South Africa when they gave it to Nelson Mandela, as if South Africa wasn't already destined for failure because the Chinese, the French, man, you got the whole European Union treating Africa like roaches on a crumb. They all over it, sucking what they can get out of it. And you want to blame that shit on one black man, and you don't realize Nelson Mandela was the fall guy for South Africa. That the white Jews in South Africa, and Elon can trace his bloodline to South Africa too. This is a colonial agenda that's deeper than Nelson Mandela, y'all. See, but what these colonizers want to do, they want to put you a face on failure when the failure is all part of their plan anyway to colonize your land and to take all the wealth out of it. But instead of you saying, look at these foreigners over here extracting the wealth from our land, what the foreigners do is take over your media stations and they give a fall guy for the people to hate, and they can keep on robbing your land blind while your dumb ass mad at Nelson Mandela.
That's right.
Nelson Mandela dead and gone, and South Africa still going to hell in the handbasket. What the hell are you talking about?
That's right.
Like it was one nigga in a way of white supremacy in South Africa. You a fool. That was just the damn the fall guy that they wanted to say. Whenever South Africa say what happened to our country, they gonna say Nelson Mandela fucked up. They ain't gonna say colonizers going around the whole world taking everybody's shit.
That's right.
And you just another victim of world colonization. Instead of telling the children that, you gonna say, man, Nelson Mandela messed everything up, as like shit was going peaches and cream and good before Mandela. Get the hell out of here. And the same thing in America. Niggas will say Trump messed everything up. Trump just the fall guy. Trump ain't doing what he want to do. Trump doing what them small hats tell him to do. Why you more mad at Trump than the small hats? See, these people know how to deflect the energy away from them while they can continue robbing your ass blind, giving you puppets to be mad at. And if you slow, ignorant, and dumb like this pastor, you will fall for it every time. Let's go.
Nation. Now, notwithstanding apartheid was wrong, we all know it's wrong. I'm against it. There should have been some other resolution, though, than turning it over to Nelson Mandela. Disease, AIDS, and crime is running wild in Johannesburg.
But you ain't gonna tell them that them people are under biological warfare attacks by big corporations in America like Pfizer, Moderna. See, when you're a dumb-ass pastor and you don't know nothing, you can't do nothing but victim blame. Because all you know is what the oppressor wants you to know, and the oppressor never gonna let you see how he's the foundation of it all. So you just gonna be left to blame your own people. You blame it. That's like me saying to somebody that got attacked with a biological disease in warfare, they the problem of their diseases. You're having sex unprotected. You're doing, dog, your Bible say be fruitful. So if you're going to complain about diseases that's going on in Africa, guess what you're saying? You making the white racist argument that the Africans are just deep sexual deviants. They having sex with monkeys. They not having protected sex. See, you can't make those arguments, those racist arguments about the Africans and be biblical. Because according to the Bible, the Africans are facing these diseases, which the Bible called plagues, because God did it to them.
That's right.
I don't like pastors like this. According to the Bible, the reason Africans going through all these famine, starvation, and disease is because they worship gods other than the true God. Why you not sticking with your Bible, pastor? You know why? Because this pastor is really a white supremacist that's chocolate coated. White supremacists can't use the Bible to support their white supremacy. They got to use what? Propaganda. Because in order to be a white supremacist, while you're colonizing a people, you got to take away their victim card, even though you victimizing them people. And when you do that, everybody gonna victim blame because they don't see you as a victim while you got all the diseases. Your men are locked up the most. Your children killing each other the most. They think it's because you dumb, you violent, you ignorant. That's just you that way. Versus you're a result of social engineering. And everywhere we see social engineering go, the Negro mentality pop up. It ain't just with black people in America. This is something that even Thomas Sowell is wrong about. Because no one want to factor in social engineering that they're modifying the people like they're modifying the food.
That's right!
They've modified animals to act different, and you don't think they modified humans to act differently. You think people are just this way because they just that way, man. They dumb as hell. Black people are just slow. They just violent. No, dude. It's something called social engineering, and I'm going to tell you how I can prove it. It ain't just black people. These social engineers that are part of colonial nations, when they go to other lands and they conquer those people, guess what? I know what I'm talking about. When I was in Korea, the Korean boys was sagging their jeans. The Korean boys was wearing their baseball caps to the back. The Korean boys was trying to be hip hop. They were trying to be black. The Korean boys and women and the Korean women was wearing baby fat because at that time fat form was popular. And the Korean women didn't look like Korean women. They looked like black women. They dressed like black women. They listened to black women music. I thought I was in the damn Asian ghetto when I landed in South Korea. And I realized everywhere Americans go, we turn people into us. The black people that y'all criticizing for being ignorant, ghetto, and all that, they wasn't like that until the colonizer showed up. And this is not me making excuses. This is just a fact because I'm telling you that the Koreans over there in South Korea wasn't like that until Americans showed up. If you go to Korea right now, they doing a lot of ratchet shit like what black women doing. They getting Botox in their lips. They getting some of them getting booty jobs. This what's happening in Seoul. And guess how I know I'm right? You only see this around the military bases. You only see this in the places where Americans have colonized. When the further away you go from that part of the country where Americans at, the people start being who they really are again. You start seeing the real Koreans that dress like Koreans, talk like Koreans, listen to nothing but Korean music. But the closer you get to the Americans, every Korean around them Americans is trying to act American.
That's right!
It's a damn disease. It's a disease. And then when you get infected, people say, look at your sick ass. See, your people just ignorant. You stupid. You slow. No, I've been infected by a disease called America, son.
That's right!
And I'm not the only one, so you don't think that this is just some exclusive deal to blacks in America. I can show you people right now whose culture is slowly being transformed. They children are getting introduced to Newports and hip hop for the first time, nigga. Now, yeah, we got some responsibility to take. We got a lot of accountability we got to address on our end. As far as once you know what the enemy is doing and the tricks of the enemy, you can't fall for it. But I don't think we know the tricks of the enemy.
That's right!
So when we fall for them, I'm a little bit slow to criticize. Now, if you know the tricks of the enemy and you come up here talking your blackity black talk, letting me know that you know about white supremacy, and you try to front me or come at me and your situation ain't in order, then I'm going to criticize you because you know better and ain't doing better. Now, I ain't going to criticize you till you try to criticize others, though. But that's my thing with black people. We not trying to criticize other people. Of course, we got our issues. Everybody got their issues. But the whole world is criticizing one group. And that group don't care about what the fuck you going through. You think everybody really care about black people? Why they criticizing our situation? No, they doing it to be jerks. They ain't doing it because we hope they turn it around. No. They doing it to deflect to the fact that we're targets of an agenda. And they trying to victim blame. And that's all to the benefit of the oppressor.
Killing one another over there. They're dying of sickness. The government is mismanaged. The people who ran the nation are now leaving the nation because black folk don't know how to run no nation.
Do y'all hear this right here? If black people don't know how to run a nation, then white people don't know how to build one without slaves.
That's right.
I'm going to say that one more time. If black people don't know how to run a nation, then white people just don't know how to build one without the help of these niggas who don't know shit. Think about how silly this is. For you to bash black people this hard make me say, if I was a white man, why would I even want a dumbass slave like that? Why would I go through all the trouble to enslave a group of people that's dumber than a damn dog? I'd rather get me some damn goats and some cows and canines if black people is this damn slow. And what I know about the people in power, they don't come waging war with you if you ain't great already.
That's right.
The people in power don't come fucking with you if you ain't already doing something right or you got something they want. You trust me, you had something going on already for them to say, oh, let's go enslave them guys. No one says, you know what? These people are dumb, slow. They don't know their ass from their head. I want them to build my country.
They don't know how, and we need to admit it.
Yeah, like, come on. These people are lazy, ignorant, stupid. They don't know how to read. They're barbaric. They would be the perfect candidates to build our country as slaves. Let's get these people. You see how dumb that sound? You see how dumb that sound? Let's go and enslave the most laziest dumb motherfuckers. Even though we can enslave anybody. Because why? The world crusaders went around bullying everybody. No one was off limits. But for some reason, the dumbest, laziest group, they wanted them to do the most. I'm really confused here. I'm really confused that human trafficking was a thing on the earth and the dumbest, laziest slaves were the ones in higher demand? Oh, those were the ones in high demand. The laziest ones that didn't want to learn, can't teach them nothing, ignorant as hell. But everybody want that group of people to be they slaves. I don't understand that right there. Seem like you would have just left them dumbasses alone, huh? Seem like if I was to colonize and saw these lazy group of dumbasses, I just would have said, you know what? Let's take everything, they resources, and we'll leave them alone. Matter of fact, let's not take their resources because it ain't worth it, because another thing that they say about black people is we're the most violent. So I forgot about that. That's another talking point. We're more violent than the white people that enslaved us. Because when they go to talking about the violent group of people, they like to go back to this group that was enslaved versus the ones did the enslaving. You see how the oppressor have a built-in get out of jail free card programmed into the minds of these niggas?
I know you don't like it, but you need to stop shucking and jiving. We got a problem. Nigeria produces oil every year, yet the children over there are hungry and pot-bellied and walking barefoot. We got a...
But dude, why the hell are you mad at them for being in that situation when your Bible say God put them in it?
That's right.
This don't make no sense. You got a pastor that's supposed to know the Bible. right? He's blaming these people for the situation they in versus telling them, listen, my God is punishing y'all because you don't want to worship him. He's acting like they ain't working hard enough. They lazy. They too dumb. But according to his Bible, the reason Africans are going through the famines and plagues that they're going through is because his God is punishing them for worshiping foreign gods.
That's right.
According to his Bible, the moment that those Africans turn to Jesus, they situation will end. The same thing with black people in America, according to the Hebrew Israelites. You can't be a Hebrew Israelite and say, well, black people, we at the bottom because we lazy as hell, because we dumb as hell. When your Bible tells you that the children of Israel is at the bottom simply because they turned away from God, it ain't because they ain't smart. Why are you trying to make them dummies? Why are you trying to make them lazy people? The Bible didn't say none of that. It said God doing that to them because they turned away from God. But you can't make it something else, though, if you're a biblical person, is what I'm saying.
That's right.
A problem. You talk about the Hutus and the Tutsis. Look what's going on in Zimbabwe now with Mugabe. We got a problem, black folk. And forget about Zimbabwe and South Africa, Nigeria. Look at what y'all have done in Harlem. You can't even hold.
Dude, why are you talking like a nigga got a pipe in your butt?
That's right.
I'm serious. Like, he's talking like, oh, shit. Oh, man, don't touch my ass. Oh, that hurt. Oh. You talk like you being violated right now, sir. Is that called pastor? See, this nigga need to watch some Southern pastors. That ain't how to preach. You New York pastors don't know how to preach, man. When you preach, you got to go right here. You got to hit them with this. You don't go up there like this. Oh, shit, you touch my ass. Oh. This nigga sound like the Pillsbury Doughboy when he get touched on the belly. Ooh. Oh, shit. Oh. It sound like he's falling off a damn building trying to preach. That ain't preaching. That's bitching. See, let me tell you New York niggas something. Y'all got the game fucked up. Hold on a minute. See, that ain't preaching. That's bitching. And now, if you want to learn how to preach properly, go watch some Southern pastors. This sound like you constipated and can't get it out. Oh, baby, shut the door, goddammit. Nigga, this sound like you're under high duress. This ain't preaching, this bitching.
Yeah, yet the children over there are hungry and pot-bellied and walking barefoot. We got a problem.
Woohoo! What the fuck? This nigga got a chocolate chip cookie stuck in his throat. You know when you swallow it, but it don't always go down all the way, but you try to talk with the cookie in your throat. And you have to tell a nigga, hey man, swallow that shit all the way, then talk to me, because I can hear it in your throat clogging your windpipe, nigga. But, you know, I'm just saying, you know, I bit the chicken sandwich, you know, and yes, I got, you know, it's some food stuck in my throat right now. I didn't swallow it all the way. Okay, Sanchez, let me swallow it. Yeah, man, like I was saying, before I had that food stuck in my throat, Sanchez, you niggas is lazy. Oh, man. Hey, this nigga hold food in his throat like a geese. What's that bird? Maybe I got the bird wrong. It's some birds out there. They just hold food in their throat, in their little giblet pocket. It like a little storage tank. Like a little storage compartment. Yeah, he one of them niggas. He still got his breakfast somewhere in his neck, but he ain't got no neck. So it's like just sitting in a little giblet. Like the birds, you know. See, these fat chicken nugget headed motherfuckers, Mr. Potato headed motherfuckers like him, they don't have necks, they have giblets. And what that a giblet allow him to do is store food in that little pocket like that bird. What bird is that? It's a seagull or a pelican, Bucky. Let me pull him up. Let me pull. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, it's a pelican. Yo, hold up, dog. Yeah. That little giblet, because that nigga ain't got no neck, he got a giblet. And the benefit of having a giblet, that nigga whole breakfast is in his giblet right now. He's still eating while he preaching. See, it could be, you could, like, the benefit of being a no-neck nigga with a giblet with that extra storage compartment right there, you can eat one breakfast and put it in your stomach. Then you can eat another breakfast and hold that one in your giblet. And throughout the day, you can swallow it slowly down there as you get hungry and just keep the food stored right there in the giblet, just like these birds do. But the only thing about that, though, is niggas gonna be able to hear that giblet when you talk. It's gonna make you go high pitched like, yeah, man, you know that. Be like, man, empty your giblet. I hate when he talk to me with a full giblet. Like, you giblet having niggas, we know you got another storage pocket. But damn it, nigga, empty your giblet before you start preaching and talking to niggas. And is it even called a giblet? I might be just saying giblet, but you know, the throat pocket for the no-neck niggas. Bro, quit talking to me with food in your giblet. Nah. Hey, shout out to my brother for that super chat. Thank you, man. It's disrespect. I can't talk to you with food in my mouth, but you can talk to me with a full goddamn giblet. That ain't fair, man. We know that you built different and that you have seagull. But nigga, when you dealing with humans, empty your goddamn giblet.
Every year, yet the children over there are hungry and pot-bellied and walking barefoot. We got a problem.
You can't be saying problem and all that with a full giblet. It don't sound right. It sound like a rooster in the morning, cock-a-doodle-doo. You know, it sound like some bird, nigga, like a little vibration going there. And that's because the sound that's coming from your throat box, it got to go through the food that you stored in your giblet. So the sound is rattling all that food in your giblet, and it just don't got you sounding right.
We got a problem. You talk about the Hutus and the Tutsis. Look what's going on in Zimbabwe now with Mugabe. We got a problem, black folk. And forget about Zimbabwe and South Africa.
And what I don't like about these giblet having niggas, sometime that food will shoot out of that giblet and pop on your ass. Hey, you ever been talking to one of these no-neck giblet having niggas and some slimy shit just pop out of their mouth on your arm and you like, God damn, this look like some food that ain't been fully digested. It's like it's in the giblet process. What? Shout out to Astro 40K. He not beating and teaching. He eating and teaching. Yeah, but he's storing a lot of what he eating in that giblet. And see, the birds, they chew it up when they store it there. They don't store whole food in the giblet. It's like kind of pre-digested. And when that shit pop out that giblet and pop on you, it's the nastiest shit ever. You ever had giblet contents to spew out on you? It's the worst thing ever, man.
Nigeria, look at what y'all have done in Harlem. You can't even hold on to Harlem. We got a problem. Black folk don't understand the world. You can get mad with me all you want. You can say what you, but you can't prove me wrong. No, I'm not saying this because...
And a nigga like Pastor Manning, he'll be talking to you and skeet giblet juice on you, and a nigga will offer to lick it off. Oh, that was my Pop-Tart from this morning. Let me get that if you don't mind. I can put that back in my giblet, because, you know, they don't like to waste a goddamn thing. Something about the giblet just make them hoarders. Like, you know, seriously, that nigga will eat that shit back up if it spit out of his giblet.
because I hate black folk. I'm saying it because I love you enough to tell the truth. And the only person gonna ever help us get out of the situation.
Man, if you don't shut your constipated ass up, you ain't telling nobody the truth. You telling them what the oppressor want them to hear. Nigga.
That's right.
You don't, the truth ain't in you, sir. The truth is not in you. Now, what is in you is yesterday's food in that giblet. But the truth ain't in you, son. If we open you up, we won't see no truth. We will see a bunch of pre-digested dinners from throughout the week that you just storing and hoarding and shit.
What y'all have done in Harlem, you can't even hold on to Harlem. We got a problem. Black folk don't understand the world. You can get mad with me all you want. You can say what you, but you can't prove me.
But here go the thing. Niggas ain't mad at you because you telling the truth. And we can definitely prove you wrong. We mad at you for the same reason we mad at all of you no-neck niggas. Y'all got an extra storage compartment and you misuse it, son. You gotta empty your giblet. It makes your breath stink. Don't you know if you just store food in your giblet too long, it comes up in your breath like from the back of the throat. You can brush your teeth and gargle your tongue, but you got 3 days old food in your giblet and you think you gonna have good smelling breath? All of the niggas with giblets wanna know why they breath stink. Quit keeping that food, clean your giblet, son. Let's go.
Nigeria, look at what y'all have done in Harlem. You can't even hold on to Harlem.
Bro,
We got a problem. Black folk.
did you hear how that man just said Harlem? That man said Harlem like that was the moment when Bubba penetrated. I can't make this up, y'all. It was like Bubba just penetrated at that same point when he said Harlem. Ouch.
And about Zimbabwe and South Africa, Nigeria, look at what y'all have done.
Did you just say Nigeria with a little bitty wiggle at the end, nigga? What the fuck? It's somebody, son, it sound like a nigga hitting you from the back. This ain't preaching. Nigeria! Ooh, oh, that burnt. Oh, it was hot as hell. Nigeria! What the fuck was that, son? That ain't preaching. That's you getting your ass whipped talking.
In South Africa, Nigeria, look at what
Man, somebody called an ambulance for this nigga. What the hell?
y'all have done in Harlem. You can't even hold on to Harlem.
Yo, I would have said, listen, call the ambulance at that Harlem. Pastor, you all right? No, I'm under duress. I'm stressed. My boyfriend keep beating my ass. Ass nigga, get the fuck out of here. I can't believe he got a congregation. This ain't preaching, this bitching. He calling him Pastor Manning. You ought to call him Bitch Manning. Son, he's not a preacher, he's a bitcher. Son, bitcher with an E-R, bitcher. I'm putting that into the lexicon. All right, quit telling niggas that they been bitching and just call them a bitcher with an ER on it.
In South Africa, Nigeria, look at what y'all have done in Harlem. You can't even hold on to Harlem.
Nigga, I never want to hear a man say Harlem like that again. And he ain't getting penetrated. This ain't right, son. Bucket Wingo, Harlem! It sound like he about to fucking say, listen, people, I gotta admit something to y'all. I've been doing this shit for years, but I need therapy, goddammit. I can't hold the front up no more. Your pastor need a hug. Give me a sister. Give me a hug, man. I've been, oh shit. Give me 5 minutes. Hold on, everybody. This nigga is going through something. This ain't preaching.
Look at what y'all have done in Harlem. You can't even hold on to Harlem.
This man need therapy, y'all. I'm telling you.
We got a problem. Black folk don't understand the world. You can get mad with me all you want. You can say what you, but you can't prove me wrong. Now, I'm not saying this because I hate black folk. I'm saying it because I love you enough to tell the truth. No.
Nigga, you don't know the truth. You're the blind leading the blind. And you supposed to be a pastor, and for you to spew this kind of rhetoric, you got to go against the Bible.
That's right.
And this is why I will push Hebrew Israelites over Pastor Pork Chops. All of them wrong, but this is real dangerous right here. Like, yeah, Hebrew Israelites is telling black people, y'all at the bottom because you turned away from Yahweh Shai. At least they're literally giving them what the Bible say. You can disagree with the Hebrew Israelites, but the Hebrew Israelites are biblical. I can't call them an anti-biblical group because they are giving the biblical message. They saying, black people, you're at the bottom because you turned away from Yahweh Shai, not because you ain't a great group of people. See, Hebrew Israelites ain't coons. Hebrew Israelites are there to uplift black people. I'm just showing you the difference between the groups. Hebrew Israelites will never say no shit like, you never built nothing. You're lazy. You're dumb. That's white supremacy talking points. The Hebrew Israelites are more legit than this pastor because at least they're giving the biblical narrative and not just doing white supremacist talking points. At least they telling black people, listen, man, if you turn back to God, we can do better. Versus, you're just lazy. You ain't built shit. You're dumb as hell. That ain't what the Bible say, Pastor. It say that the children of Israel are a mighty group of people.
That's right.
But their only problem is they're disobedient to God.
That's right.
And I can go with some group of people that's using the Bible and not taken away from it, like the Hebrew Israel. I can debate them on it. I can say, well, I disagree with the Bible. But I can never say, you niggas ain't using the Bible. Y'all being anti-biblical. I can't do that to Captain Tazariak. I can't do that to Johanna and Gorilla Hebrew and them niggas. Because they dotted their I's and crossed their T's. They said, listen, we're pushing the Bible, so anything we say about black people have to come from the Bible.
That's right.
We can't use white supremacy talking points. We can't make up our own shit. When Hebrew Israelites go out there and criticize black people, they're doing it from the Bible's perspective, which is why you can't really be mad at them. You got to get mad at the Bible. But Pastor Manning, I can direct all of my energy toward him. He's no longer covered under the Bible's protection the moment he stray from it.
That's right.
Because if you want to paint a narrative about a group of people as a pastor, you need to make sure you're painting the biblical narrative about those people and not the biased ass white supremacist narrative, sir.
That's right.
Only person going to ever help us get out of the situation is going to be God. There's something wrong with the black man's mind. There's something wrong with his mind. He don't.
My thing is, if you born in this world at this time, there's something wrong with everybody, man. If you born under government, the people that's governing the mentals, they're creating us this way. You got to rise above your indoctrination, sir.
That's right.
It's no longer an excuse, because if everybody is born into indoctrination, the moment a few people rise above their indoctrination and question their way out of it, ain't no excuse for the rest of the people to be dumb and indoctrinated. We can say the indoctrinators are wrong and we would be right, but I can also say you dumb and slow if you still spewing what the indoctrinators told you and you ain't questioning it. And that's what this pastor's doing. He trying to say something wrong with the black man's mind. The question is, why the hell would a slave master want to enslave a nigga who need mental help? If I'm a slave master, I want to enslave a group of people that's smart enough to know how to harvest cotton, corn, and build buildings and structures. These people got to be gardeners. They got to be into agriculture, plant life. That means you got to be into botany. You got to be into architecture before you can even be a viable slave for these white folks. So to say that they enslaved a bunch of dumbasses, to say that they enslaved some people who was under mental psychological problems. Well, the white man ain't good at therapy. The white man ain't good at dealing with psychological issues. Look at our country, bro. We kick the can on the mentally ill in this country.
That's right.
The white man has proven that he neglects the mentally ill in this country. They be shooting retarded people by the police, and the police get off. They know that that man mind ain't right, and they killed him. You know what they do to the mentally ill? They lock them up for resisting. They don't get them mental help. So you telling me that the white man came across all these mentally ill slaves and he was able to cure their mental illness to the point to make them a productive slave on a cotton field? Think about what you're saying. When the white man met this group of people, they was mentally ill, lazy, incompetent, ignorant. They was good for nothing, basically. But they was good for slavery. Like, you're trying to make a picture that this group of people is good for nothing. But at the same time, they was good enough to be enslaved. They was good enough to have European nations fighting over them. They was good enough for countries can't leave them the hell alone.
That's right.
Last time I checked, people that ain't good for nothing, don't nobody check on them and care about them. They isolated. Nobody even care about them. They're good for nothing. You can't do nothing with them but just leave them alone and hope that they don't come messing with you because they good for nothing. I don't want no good for nothing people around me. That's dead weight. Can't benefit from no people like that. So everything you saying about black people is more proof why you shouldn't have enslaved this group. If we still in a condition that we in now, that we was in when y'all enslaved us, what was the point? You could have got another group that wasn't so dumb, that wasn't so lazy.
He does not understand the world. He doesn't. I don't care if he learned medicine. He doesn't understand the world. He can't even hold on to Harlem. When he was here, he moved out. We got to talk to the Lord. People, we got to talk to God. And black women.
And I'm going to tell y'all something. The tethers, the Africans, they eating it up. This chick, she's an African chick, and she's saying that black people are going to be mad, but this is the truth. Look at how many thumbs up it got. 20,000 thumbs up. See, her channel ain't got but 40,000 subs, but you can get these kind of numbers if you're doing division, hate. If you're challenging the hate and division, then you doing numbers like Sanchez. I'm going to show you something. If I start another channel and I start picking a side and I go with the left or the right, my number's going to be in the millions and stuff. Because most Americans don't understand a middle, level-headed, think outside the box ground. They only understand the box that they in. And it's a lot of people in the left box, the right box, the conservative box, the Democrat box. If you ain't in none of them boxes, you're going to struggle trying to get the attention of Americans. You're going to struggle with views. Now, the moment you step in a box, there are already millions of people in all of the boxes. If I become a Muslim, I'm going to have millions of Muslims that are already programmed for Muslim content. If I'm a Christian, I'm going to have a lot of Christians. You know, like if you part of one of these big groups, conservative, Republican, and that is your brand, then you will get the numbers. What the algorithm has done on social media, it has targeted channels that are challenging the status quo and thinking outside of the social norm boxes, the people that's going against the hate, the division, and all that. And it's doing that via algorithm. Because if you don't pick a box, people ain't going to even take you serious. People going to automatically know, are you a conservative? Are you a liberal? They going to ask you what gang you in. And if you don't claim a set, They gonna do what the gangs do. They gonna call you a square. Cause America has turned into gangbanging. And everybody that say, I don't want a gangbang, then don't nobody take them serious. It's like LA. If you ain't from a set, the chicks don't even, most of them like, oh, this nigga square. Like, you ain't from nowhere? You ain't claiming nothing? What you doing with your life? Like, how you ain't from a set? That's the way Americans look at you. Like how LA people look at you when you say, oh, I'm not in no gang. Them niggas give you a double look like, you ain't in no gang. Everybody are in gangs around here. Nigga, what? You're like a spectacle in LA saying you ain't in a gang. What the hell? You ain't in a gang. And it's the same thing in America. You're a tinfoil hatter. You're a conspiracy theorist. You are a spectacle in this country when you say, yeah, I don't claim a set. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Muslim. I'm not a Moor. I'm not a pro-black. I'm not a pro-white. I'm not in any gang that America is offering me. Then everybody else in America look at you like, yeah, we don't want to talk to you. You're a square.
Shirley Chisholm, Harriet Tubman, Coretta King, one of her boys. Yeah, okay, then we got a black president. But you black women, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all gonna let that white woman, what's wrong with you black women voting for Barack? Don't you understand? It should have been a black room if you're gonna have a black president. What's wrong with you? Y'all ain't got no sense.
See, the thing about having a black president, a white president, it's really about having an equal president. Because I'm going to tell you something. It's a reason that JFK was assassinated and he wasn't a black president. And I'm going to tell you something right now. No one wanted to assassinate Barack Obama, Kamala Harris. You acting like we need a black president to save us. We need a fair president, an equal president. And I don't care what color that motherfucker is. Because from what I know about JFK, JFK was a white president that was a threat to the establishment because his ideologies were along the lines of let me kind of cater to the people at the bottom. All right? So all this stuff that this pastor's spewing is hate and division, and it is not the solution to the problem.
You black women, your men treat you like the dogs, like your dogs. They walk all over you. They make you pay the bills at home, and then the preachers pimp you in the churches and make you pay the bills. Y'all crazy.
Ain't this man is telling on himself? Ain't that something?
These black women buying these black men private jets, the tune of $50 million for a to ride around in a private jet, and you talking about look at our pastor. What's wrong with y'all women? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Quit hating. He hating because them other pastors got jets. Ain't nobody, listen, bro, I'm going to tell you something right now. He ain't no better than none of them. And what make him even worse, he's spewing a message that's worse than Creflo Dollar, and he's broker. Bro, you even more, see, he's more dangerous than Creflo Dollar. All Creflo Dollar gonna tell you is get money so you can give it to him. That ain't as dangerous as a nigga victim blaming, telling you that you at the bottom cause it's your fault. Yes, man, put it this way. The moment we know how we get at the bottom and we don't do nothing about it, that's your fault. But if you at the bottom and you born at the bottom in a certain group and you don't even know the ins and out of this situation, the history of how your people get to this point and all that, how that's your fault? Think about it. How is it a baby in Africa fault that they starving? That they born with a disease? How is something that they're doing wrong, their family doing wrong, versus what their political leaders are doing wrong with selling the land out? You brought up Nelson Mandela, but don't you know that the resources that are being exploited from Africa ain't owned by politicians, nigga? It's owned by ministers, regular people, military entities. You act like a bunch of African pastors own diamond mines. You act like Nelson Mandela owned the resources. The people that own the resources are the people of the land. But if you telling them we only gonna give you this much for your diamonds, but you selling them for way higher than that, what they gonna do? The only person that want their resources are the people who wanna lowball them. And every country that go to Africa for resources have an agreement. You can't be giving them big amounts of money for these resources, as you gonna fuck the game up. The Americans are telling the Asians and telling the French and everybody talking, saying, look, when you come over here robbing these people blind, don't be trying to compete with us and be like on some, well, I'll pay you more than the American shit, because you gonna fuck the game up. We got these Africans giving us their resources for pennies. The moment we start trying to compete, they're going to raise the dollar amount on the resources. So the French, the Asians, all of these groups are working together in agreement to say, listen, don't y'all raise your price of how much you giving them, and we won't. We'll all stay around this amount. That way we can all benefit without the prices skyrocketing, because these Africans thinking that they got leveraging power where they're going to pit us against each other and start auctioning off their resources, which would be the best thing for the Africans. But they already got rid of that option, because under the United Nations, they are all sitting down discussing how we're going to make this work for the people in power, not the people at the bottom who own the land. That's like our ancestors. They own all the land and resources. The people at the power, all they own is the power, the force, the military might. And so because of that, they can enforce trade laws and ways of doing business and legal systems that will justify their evil, and then victim blame everyone else for being targeted of this, colonialization. But you blaming the Africans for being poor when it's a system over there that's ensuring that the wealth is going to be extracted from the land and the people and ended up in the powers that be hands. And these powers that be are all working together, man. They got the Africans thinking that they competing with each other, but Coke and Pepsi ain't competing. Most of these companies you think competing, they owned by the same person. Like the Democrats and Republicans, you think they competing against each other when they just running a monopoly. So you can pick one side, either this one or that one, and it cancels out everybody else by them having the illusion that they're competing with each other. So you're gonna go to Burger King or McDonald's because the commercials show them two burger companies beefing with each other. So you're gonna say, I want to taste the McDonald's burger and the Burger King burger to see which one the best. When there are millions of other burger companies out there, what if you find out the same people own Burger King, own McDonald's, and it don't matter which burger you taste? By them creating the illusion that they're competing with each other, they create the monopoly, like the Democrats and Republicans. That's what's happening in Africa. We live on a monopoly board, and the bankers and the corporations have to create the illusion that they are competing with each other, because they know that the power comes from the people at the bottom. The power comes from the people who own the land, not the corporations. So if the corporations want the land for cheap, they can't show up telling the people, listen, I will pay you more than what the Chinese paying you. Because then the Chinese going to have to show up and say, oh, they offered you this? Well, I'll offer you this. Now we got them doing the bidding for us. Think about that. Instead of them bidding you off as a slave, you got them bidding for your property versus enslaving you and making you mine and harvest your own resources to the rich on your own land. You see what I'm saying? Instead of you being a slave on your own land, and now you don't even own your land no more because you sold the resources for so cheap that the amount of money that it take you to harvest the resources is worth more than what you get from the resources. That's what's happening all around the world. That's happening in Africa. It's happening in India. You got people saying, we've been mining in this coal mine for generations, and we don't even make enough money to feed our family. We make enough money just to keep this shit going for our children. So they children is inheriting a burden. You got fishermen that's saying the fish are gone. We don't make enough money to even keep this fishing thing going for our family. We're just fishing at this point to preserve fishing. That's happening in New Orleans right now. You got fishermen that's struggling. They on government assistance while they're fishermen, and they selling fish to grocery markets, and they broke as hell. These fishermen will tell you, we only making enough money to just keep this thing going for our children because we like to fish. It's who we are. We ain't even doing it for money at this point. We doing it because it's our identity we trying to preserve. That's sad. This happening all around the world. You got people that's working these mines, and the cost that it take them to work the mine is worth more than the resource they selling. They're creating their own form of inflation because that's how these corporations get your people in debt. They come to your land and they say, ooh, we can give you money for your resources. But your people don't know that they paying you pennies. The Africans is looking at that $5 for that diamond like it's a lot of money. To them, $10 a day is balling. You know, but to us, what we gonna do with $10? To an African, $10 is 3 days worth of food for your family. You see what they doing? So we know that the diamond is worth more than $10, but the African don't care about luxury when he just trying to feed his family.
That's right.
Some of y'all will say, well, man, that diamond worth more than that, so I'm going to hold on to it till I can sell it to somebody. But guess what? What if all of the people that's in the diamond industry got a monopoly and they all working together and they saying, we ain't going to buy no diamonds that's overpriced outside of this. But they will take them diamonds that they buy for less and overprice them to your ass. And this how wealth is transitioned. This is the basics of wealth and monopolies. It starts right there. The people in their land can't make millions of dollars off their own resource, but you can. And you telling them people, you ain't never gonna make millions of dollars selling these diamonds like I'm doing it. You're only gonna be able to make $5 a day digging up these diamonds. Why? Because I control the market. I dictate how much a diamond costs when it costs that much. So it ain't like an African can say, screw you, I'm gonna go sell my diamond to somebody else, because the entire diamond industry is a psychological operation that is owned by the Jews. Basically, the root word of jewelry is Jew. And the truth is that they can make the price of a stone that ain't worth nothing $10 million. They can find some random rock right now in Africa and they can polish it up, put it in a glass case. They can get some rapper to talk about it. They can get some celebrity to wear it at the red carpet. And now the price of that little rock is $20 million if you want it. The same little rock that some African was stepping on, it was worth nothing. The moment they polish that Liberty rock up and let the celebrities glorify over it and put it in a couple of movies, now that Liberty rock is worth 30 million. This is how the Jews can put value on stuff. I need to do a whole nother presentation on this because you don't understand how wealth is created out of our ignorance and idolatry. You got people right now that can sell your ass a Q-tip that was used by Denzel Washington, and some of y'all will pay $50,000 for it. You see how celebrityism and idolatry can raise the prices of stuff? And because Africans don't have the power, they don't have Hollywood, they don't control the industry that tells people what a luxurious experience is, what living large is, what living in the lap of luxury is all about. If rich people start rubbing dog shit in their faces tomorrow, then poor people gonna wanna do it. Girl, I heard dog shit keep your skin young and tight. Give me some of that dog shit. These people got so much power. The amount of power they got is they got the power to tell the world what's rich and what's not. What's, it ain't that wealth is a thing. Wealth is a lifestyle that they're painting for you, and it can change at any time, and it can say, well, this is what rich is. And now if you ain't doing that, you ain't rich. If you ain't got this car, if you still driving the 2010 shit, oh, you ain't rich. They are defining what it looks like to be rich. That's a lot of power. Because they can dictate the value of things, and not only the value of things, here go the part that ought to scare you. They can dictate the value of people.
That's right.
They can point at a group of people and say, oh, them people ain't valuable. They ain't worth nothing. We can get rid of them. These people are valuable. They're worth something. That is a lot of power to have, to be able to point at something or someone and say, that's in, this is out. Bro, that's hell of amount of power. And that's what the amount of power that the small hats got. And we need to really start to research social engineering, because not knowing this stuff is to our own detriment. You think that an African can just sell their diamonds for the same price that the Jews selling them for because you stupid. You victim blaming, and you don't want to research the truth because it's easier to just blame the victim. You don't understand it's an entire system that's creating poverty in Africa. It's deeper than them being lazy and them being dumb. Like, come on.
What's wrong with a black man that would take that kind of money out of a poor neighborhood and buy himself a private jet? What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, black women? What's wrong with you voting for Barack Obama? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? Crazy. Black people.
Somebody said, I like non-cooning Sanchez. Black Power Sanchez is lit. Let me tell you something, man. I keep telling y'all, bro, I'm a fake coon. And I'm going to keep cooning because I don't have a problem with coons. Here's my thing with coons. I don't like self-hating coons. See, something what y'all don't realize, all coons ain't created equally. You got coons that really hate themselves. Then you got coons that hate black people's stupidity. You got coons that are cooning that saying, we got a lot of work to do. We think some sweet as a people. We at the bottom. We play too much. And now I got to go in like a coach that's yelling at his team because the team ain't performing right. I like them kind of coons. See, I don't like the Myron Gaines kind of coons. You know that they just cooning for white folks. They cooning for money. They don't really care about black people. But if I see a coach yelling at his team and I know he want his team to win, I like them kind of coons. I like the kind of coons that their cooning is motivated by all of the problems black people got versus I'm trying to impress the white man and coon for him. See, that's my thing.
Let me tell y'all something. If you don't ever hear me say preach again, they can kill me tomorrow. But let me tell you something. We're not going to ever get anywhere until we look into the mind of a black man. He doesn't think correctly. I don't care what he is. He can be a doctor. He can be an astrophysicist. The nigga got no sense. You talk to him. You talk to a black man. He doesn't understand the world. He's never built anything. The most the black people have ever done, they did it here in America under white people's help. When they were in Africa, they didn't do nothing.
Not one single lie detected. The ending part of the
And people and Africans like her are agreeing with it. She's agreeing with this. The Tethers are agreeing with this. Let's rewind this. This part hits home, man.
What's wrong with y'all? Crazy. Black people, let me tell y'all something. If you don't ever hear me say preach again, they can kill me tomorrow. But let me tell you something. We're not going to ever get anywhere until we look into the mind of a black man. He doesn't think correctly. I don't care what he is. He can be a...
He's a black man that don't think correctly. Listen, he said a black man can be a doctor, a lawyer, and all that. He's still stupid. What? How are you stereotyping all black men like that but yourself? Now, he got black men in his congregation right now who lawyers, doctors, and all that, and they agreeing with him. We're all slow and dumb. The only black man that got it all together is him, this pastor. Because you know he ain't including himself in that. He's generalizing all black men that it don't even matter if you're a lawyer, doctor, none of that. You're dumb. So he also can say it don't matter if you're a pastor. You're dumb. He have to include himself in that. But the question would be, what would be the point when you know that that's a lie? Ain't no, and my whole thing about this is like, every black man is incompetent, right? But the white man needed the black man as a slave. It's gonna always go back to, you do not enslave an incompetent person. Everybody know that. It's a waste of time. Why would I risk my life? Think about it. I want a slave. I want this slave to know about plants. I want this slave to be able to follow instructions. I want the slave to be mentally in health, because I don't want to get a slave and have to give him therapy and give him mental help before he can get on the cotton field. I need a healthy slave that have a good mind, who I can teach something. The slave got to know about plant cropping. That ain't no simple shit. I don't know if y'all know, but planting cotton and harvesting, it is complicated. It ain't simple. We like the simple. It ain't simple, dude. Agriculture is not simple. So check it out. That is a science, agriculture. And you don't look at the slave as an agriculturist, but you should. You should. You got to think that the slaves were doing large-scale farming. It was the first agricultural systems in America, and it was from the hands of the slave. The person that's laying the foundation for agriculture in your country is very fucking smart. That would be like your Monsantos. That'll be like all of your corporations today that's producing our corn and bread. We put them on a pedestal. But yet we look down on the slaves when before you had machines doing it. I didn't know that. That'll make you dumb. If you going to enslave some dummies, you must be even dumber.
That's right.
Nothing, they can't make these talking points, y'all. They just can't. And I'm showing you why. I'm destroying it right now. Who enslaves a dumbass? You leave the dumbasses alone. And then you go get a group of people that's resilient. You say, look, okay, this group of people smart. They know how to plant crops. They know about architecture, so they can build buildings for us. They can dance. They good comedians. Okay, let's enslave them. They got a lot of benefits. They can entertain us. They can build for us. They know about agriculture. Let me do a mic check. Can y'all, are we still streaming? Are we still rocking and rolling? Drop a 1 right now if we still rocking and rolling and everything is gravy on y'all end. And if we can get the numbers up, we gonna open up the call lines. This one of them lit shows where we gotta ask the question, do you agree? Drop a 1. Let me see where I went in and out at. Nothing, they can't make these talking points, y'all. They just can't. And I'm showing you why. I'm destroying it right now. So basically what I'm saying is you can't say all of this about black people. It can't be true. Because if everything they saying is true about black people, what does that say about the slave master? Everybody got to use common sense. No one is going to enslave a dumbass. I don't know if y'all heard what I was saying earlier, but I'm going to repeat it. The slaves had to be very smart. People like to say, well, black people were slaves and they dumb as hell. Dude, think about this. The slaves was doing widespread agriculture. We talking cotton, pecans, bread, grains, all of that. The slaves would have had to know the knowledge of agriculture. Listen, you don't take a dumbass off of a ship and that dumbass start building houses and growing sweet potatoes. Show me a dummy right now that can build a house and partake in agriculture. And if you can't do it, then quit calling black people dummies. Because if the slave master went around the world collecting dummies, that make him even dumber. Don't nobody want to be around dumbasses, but someone that's dumber than them. So if the slave master keeps saying, well, black people are incompetent, we slow, we dumb, we lazy, why did you enslave a group of people like that? That would make you stupid as hell. If you look at the way these people work today, and I know because I was in the military, they don't waste time with dumbasses. They enslave people who are resilient. They are going around the world enslaving people that know about the land, people who smart, people that don't mind working, people who are builders. America ain't going around picking with lazy, dumb people. They going around waging war with people who are a group of people that we can benefit from having as slaves. Why the fuck would I risk my life to collect a bunch of dumbasses that I'm gonna have to feed them, clothe them, take care of them like children because they're too incompetent, lazy, and slow? Who does that? You can't make these talking points about black people. You just can't. Because it's always going to go back to why would they enslave some people like that? That don't make no sense. Everywhere we see these people conquering at, they only, like right now, we in China, we in the Middle East, we in Japan, we in Russia. We are in places where the people are somebody. We ain't trying to pick on and wage war with dumbasses that ain't got nothing we want, they lazy. Why would I even want a group of people like that? I'ma lose fucking with them. You might as well leave them alone, because if we collect them, we gonna have to feed them. We gonna have to teach them because they dumb as hell. They got mental issues, so they gonna need therapy, psychology. We gonna have to do so much before we can even put these people on a cotton field, when we can just go over here and pick on a group that already know how to plant crops and do all of that. Why would they do it? Obviously, black people knew how to harvest the land. They knew the science of plants and seeds and agriculture. They knew architecture, and that's what made them desirable to the oppressor, because they knew so much. So y'all really need to learn the truth about your people and quit spewing these white supremacist talking points, bro. For real.
Doctor, he can be an astrophysicist. The nigga got no sense. You talk to him. You talk to a black man. He doesn't understand the world. He's never built anything.
If you talk to a white man that's a colonizer, that's more true for him. He don't understand the world, which is why he go around it trying to conquer everybody. If the colonizer understood the world, he would know that the people of the world have a rule: live and let live. Leave us alone, we'll leave you alone. That's a rule that permeates throughout the world in every tribe and every culture that ain't part of this shit we in. You trying to say black people don't understand the world, and our misunderstanding of the world come through our indoctrination by the oppressor, you fool.
That's right.
You fool. Black people's misunderstanding of the world around them is a result of the white man's indoctrination. He taught them everything they know about the world, you damn dummy. So you got a bunch of black people that's been educated in the white man's education system, and you telling them they don't understand the world, even though the white man gave them all a diploma, a certificate of completion. He just said that it don't matter if you're a doctor or a lawyer, you still dumb as a black man. So what about the white man education system that's letting all of these dummies out into society? Because it's one thing to say that an educated black man is still a dummy, but it's another thing not to say who's educating these dummies. Who's letting these dummies walk across the stage with a degree? It's the white man. So again, you can't just put all of the blame on the black man. If you're gonna say that an educated black man is still a dumbass, we gotta question the education system and not the black man at this point.
That's right.
And nobody wanna deal with the system. Nobody wanna stand up against the systems that are keeping us down. They just wanna point the finger at the people that's down. This man just said that an educated black man still is a dummy. He just said that black people don't know nothing about the world. If we go to white people's schools, shouldn't they be teaching us about the world before we go out in it? But see, think about it. The white man don't gotta teach black people nothing about the world in order to recruit them to help him conquer it. Oh shit, did I just strike a nerve? This why they don't want Sanchez on the news. They don't want Sanchez on the mainstream. I speak too much sense. I speak too much sense. Come on now. Let me rewind that dagger for y'all in case you missed it. Matter of fact, let me rewind it for real, and see if that picked it up. Sanchez on the mainstream. Nothing about the world. If we go to white people's schools, shouldn't they be teaching us about the world before we go out in it? But see, think about it. The white man don't gotta teach black people nothing about the world in order to recruit them to help him conquer it. Now tell me I didn't go in, nigga. You ain't gonna never hear no shit like that, nigga. That's real spill. The black man, the white man don't got to educate black people about the world when he need their help to help him conquer it. And you ain't calling out that part. The fact that if the white man really educated us about what's going on in the world, we couldn't be his pawns.
That's right.
So the fact that you're trying to make it like the white man is all good, but the black man is his own worst enemy. The way you're doing it is so disingenuous, and that's why I gotta break it apart. You know, black people don't know nothing about the world. Everything we know come from the oppressor. So at some point, you're gonna have to get mad at the people educating us. You agree that we were enslaved, and you agree that we didn't know shit before they enslaved us. He just said that. And my question is, why didn't they just leave us the hell alone then? We were a bunch of dumbasses who were lazy with mental issues. Why did you just leave us alone instead of enslave us, and now you keep bitching and complaining about our dumb asses every day? You see what I'm saying, y'all? Who recruits a bunch of incompetent dumbasses, then complain about it for years? Y'all slow, y'all lazy, and you been that way. You was like that when we met you. So the white man bumped into a bunch of lazy, incompetent motherfuckers, and then he put the whip to their back and then said, you only done the best when I was beating your ass. When I met you black folks, you wasn't doing nothing. But when I put my whip on your back, you built me a nation. You built nations. And when I stopped whipping you, you stopped building nations. You got dumb again. You forgot how to be an architect. You forgot how to be an agriculturist after the white man stopped beating you with his whip. I'm telling y'all the bullshit history that this pastor is motivated by. He's living a lie. These white folks bumped into a bunch of incompetent dumbasses, but they was able to force those mentally ill dumbasses to build a whole country under the whip. And then when they got through whipping them, they went back dumb again and they stopped learning how to build in agriculture. They lost that. Y'all see how dumb this is?
Black people have ever done. They did it here in America under white people's help. When they were in Africa, they didn't do nothing.
Not one single lie.
And what did she say? Not one single lie told. Listen what the African chick say.
They did it here in America under white people's help. When they were in Africa, they didn't do nothing.
Not one single lie detected. The ending.
Did y'all hear what the tethers are sucking this up? Now, for Africans to believe this is even worse, because Africans are saying black people didn't build nothing in Africa. But here go the problem. When black people was in Africa, we wasn't black people. I thought we was Africans. I thought we was Africans. Oh my God. You're saying black people didn't build none in Africa. You should be saying Africans didn't build none in Africa. Remember, they weren't called black people yet. They were Africans in their land and they didn't build shit. Then the white man came and made them into black people and they started building. Y'all got it backwards. Africans didn't build shit in Africa. When those Africans came to America with the transatlantic slave trade under the white man's whipping, they built a nation for the white man that Africans ain't even building for themselves. If you look at Africa right now, they still poor. If you look at Africa right now, Africans still ain't building nothing for themselves. If you look at Africa right now, everywhere you see white people at in Africa, that's where the Africans are doing good. The places that ain't got white people and Asian people help in Africa, they living in the jungle with no running water. Facts. Africans literally ain't shit without the colonizer. When black people was needed by the colonizer, let me say that again. You're saying black people didn't build nothing in Africa, but I thought we was Africans when we was in Africa. We didn't become, those Africans didn't become black people till later after they left Africa and they became Americanized. So you're still trying to target this group of people in America that you're calling a lost African tribe. Even when you rewind time and bring this group of people back to the land that you said that was their homeland, you still segregate them from Africans and say, well, even when black people was here, they was dumb and lazy. Wait a minute, we weren't even black people then. Y'all are double talking and triple talking, nigga, the quadruple talking. Drop a one if everybody can hear me. And anybody saying I'm muted and dropping twos, you're going to be blocked for the day. You lose your privilege for chat room for today. If I get warns from the audience, cue tracks, we're going to have to set an example for you. That's important. It's distracting. If these people put warns and say that they can hear me and I'm not muted, I got to put you on timeout or something, man. You can't lie to me about tech issues. That's trolling. So, yeah, let's go ahead and put you out for a second. That'll get you in trouble, man. Putting twos saying you can't hear me. You better check your audio first and make sure it ain't on your end. That kind of false call will get you blocked in my chat room.
Part of this pastor's speech is the biggest truth of them all. The most that any black person was able to accomplish or invent was done in the West under the supervision and the influence of the white man. Back in Africa, in Wakanda land, they did nothing, absolutely nothing. I love this part because most of you are going to start crying, oh, but Africans invented everything. You guys are going to start crying and calling me all sort of names in the comment section, but
people like her don't need a voice. But the algorithm are giving her one. It's the blind leading the blind. It's creating a victim blame mentality and a self-hate one.
I am just saying the truth. Oh, black people invented the traffic light. They didn't do that in Africa. They did it in the West under the influence of the white man. Oh.
So here's the thing. She's saying that when black people was in Africa, they didn't do nothing. But when they came to the West, they became inventors and all that. But this is what they don't know. Black people was never brought from Africa. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock, and we're not no Africans. We always been over here building, agriculture, all of that. The black people in America, we been over here planting corn, sweet potatoes, okra, peaches, oranges. There were black people on this land already before the colonizer showed up. But this African woman think that the black people in America were brought here. That's why it's so much confusion on why the hell didn't these same black people practice agriculture and architecture in Africa? Think about it. It don't make no sense. How do you get off a slave ship and automatically become an architect and an agriculturist? Because the moment the slaves got off the ship, they was picking cotton, they was planting yams, they was building slave shacks, they was building stone monuments. But you telling me these same people in Africa was dumb as hell. But the moment they got off the Nina, Pina, and Santa Maria, they were architects and agriculturists under the white man? That don't even make no sense. Some ought to tell y'all this ain't the same group of people. The Africans always been lazy and slow, and now they trying to put that on black people. We ain't the same, yo. We ain't the same. And the black people didn't come from Africa. The people that was over here, who we calling black people, they was smart as hell. They was building stone monuments that look like them. That's what I'm telling you. We got a whole history that ain't been told, and you got imposters trying to tell our history. And when they do it, it's never going to be to our benefit. You got to control your narrative. This is part of the fight. You can't take your foot off their neck. And if y'all ain't supporting my message and my work, if you ain't hitting the cash up, if you ain't hitting the super chat, I'm not going to be doing this shit long. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to stop and go get me a damn job. I ain't got no problem going back get me a job. I only want to be able to do this and make what I made at a normal job, but I'm not going to make less than that. I'll just go back to work because I'm risking too much. That's why it ain't a lot of people doing this shit. The movie Sinners made over $200 million in less than a month. And then nobody risked their life to tell you nothing that's going to be a benefit to your spirit or your people. And everybody got paid. And you got people up here going up against the Nation of Islam, going up against the MAGA gang, going against the medical mafia. You got people up here running their goddamn mouth, and you tuning in every day and these people putting their life on the line. You got money in your pocket and you being tight with it. But you are the same people that have a Netflix account. You will be coming to Sanchez saying that you go to the movies and see that. I'm like, so, okay, y'all going to the movies, huh? You paying for tickets, but I'm begging for cash apps and shit. Okay, I see. And niggas coming up to me, Sanchez, you need to go see this movie. I'm like, bro, I'm making movies for y'all. So y'all paying to go watch these Hollywood movies. You coming to my show talking shit about Hollywood for free. Make that make sense. You paying your money to go see the Hollywood movies, and then you coming over to my channel bitching about what's going on in Hollywood for freebie. For the freebie.
Oh, black people invented the gas mask, modern toilets, elevator, the carbon filament light bulbs, automatic gear shifts, the fire extinguisher, yada, yada, yada. They never did that in Africa.
Because Africans aren't inventors, and if you go to Africa now, Africans still ain't doing nothing to Africa. But if you look at black people, we still invent shit. Look at Moses West. That black man just invented a water machine that can really snatch water out the atmosphere. Black people are over here. A young black teenager just invented some little technology. He's in Atlanta. I forgot what he invented. I did a story. It's so much shit you forget about it. Shout out to Jewel. Thank you for the super chat. You got to think about it now. You got to think about it. They would say black people didn't build nothing in Africa because we was never in Africa. It's like they're trying to blame Africans' downfall and shortcoming on black people. Black people ain't got nothing to do with why ain't nothing being built in Africa. That's y'all Africans' problems, and that ain't our country, and we never was from there. We've always been building on our own land. So why would you look at Africa and say black people ain't never built nothing in Africa instead of saying Africans ain't never did it? Because Africans are still over there without black people and they ain't doing shit to their land. Black people are in America taking over. That ought to show you we ain't the same people. Africans are in their land getting bullied around by the Chinese. They don't own shit. They digging diamonds out the ground for 10 cents a day. Black people in America making millions of dollars cracking jokes on stage, and we fought for that. They tried to cheap ball us like the Africans, but we fought for our motherfucking position in America. You didn't think that they tried to do us like Africans? No, we marched, we boycotted, and guess what Africans said? Quit complaining. Africans will come over here and tell us we complaining when they benefit from all the shit we complained about. We was complaining about equal opportunity employmentship. Now Africans come over here getting jobs and tell us to quit complaining when the reason your ass getting a job is because we was complaining. I always tell you, it's like we going to McDonald's and they giving me cold French fries, so I'm complaining about it. Everybody come to McDonald's after me is yelling at me saying, why you complaining, man? And I'm telling them, do you enjoy them hot fries, motherfucker? They telling me, why you complaining? And I'm telling them, don't you like hot French fries? Okay, that's because of my complaints, my nigga, that your French fries hot. If I wasn't up here complaining, all of you motherfuckers will have cold French fries. You want to attack the nigga that made it better for you. It's because of me that this restaurant is serving you better with my complaints. It's because of black people that your benefit off of a lot of the opportunities in America that you partake in coming over here as a foreigner. We fought for that. And then you get your bitch ass over here and tell us to quit complaining when you enjoying all of the shit we complain for. Shout out to Prime Time. Says, keep teaching. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all for real. Shout out to Peach Rose and to Oliver Robinson. Thank y'all so much for these super chats. And to the people that's hitting the Cash App, please do. Because I can keep more of the money through Cash App. Just to tell you some real deal. Thank y'all so much for those super chats. This video is so aggravating, man.
We did that in America, in white people's environment, under the supervision of the same white people they detest. Haven't you asked yourself why these black inventions never came out of Africa? Or
because black people aren't African, stupid woman. How the hell did this video get 20,000 likes on it? Everybody is saying black people do better when we in slavery. And the reason they saying that is because they think that Africans were dumb in West Africa and the white man came over here and turned them into inventors even though he wasn't one. How dumb do you gotta be to believe that? You telling me Africans was dumb as hell and then the white man brought them to America and they became geniuses overnight. But even the white man didn't even invent the shit that the slave invented. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's saying that if the white man beat up black people, the white man will bring out our best, but the white man can't even bring out his own best. This is sad. If the white man beat up on black people enough, we can invent cotton gins. But the white man didn't invent the cotton gin. What they saying is black people can be geniuses that can create shit that can benefit the whole world if you beat their ass enough.
That's right.
They saying, listen, black people can be the saviors of the world. We just ain't beating them enough. That's what they're saying. Shout out to New Money Clutch. He said, you going on my album, Big Frequency. Hey, man, if you do music, I do music. Let's collab. I'm looking for studios. I do a lot of favor jobs, right? I pay a lot of money to favor engineers, and I send my stuff out digitally. And I don't always like what I get back, but the money's paid, and you have to keep paying a revision fees. If a person rock with Sanchez and you got a studio in your state, if you into music, you got a label, hey, you need to holler at me. I may fuck around and get with y'all. I'm a producer. I may be flying out to your shit, dropping my album in your studio. That's what I'm telling y'all, that I'm a music artist and I don't have a home studio. I'm just basically at the mercy of digital services. So if you got something going in your area, you can't be in the same boat I'm in. All right, I'm talking about people with real studios in they state, real music groups. I'm down to talk business with you. Shout out to, thank y'all for the super chats. We're going to try to get through this video without blowing our head off because this is very aggravating. Let's go.
we are never done by Africans in Africa. This pastor mentioned Nigeria being a leading producer of oil, yet Nigerian children can't find good food to eat. Now, I am Nigeria, so let me tell you this. My country is the second largest oil producing country in the whole of Africa.
Africans are making a big mistake thinking we the same people. And I'm going to tell you something. They know we ain't the same people, which is why they say black people didn't produce nothing when they was in Africa. But why the hell would you say that? You ought to say we African people didn't build shit until the white man turned us into blacks in America. But you still trying to separate yourself from the group that you said come from you, which is something that let me know you lying. You know the average person dumbed down. They ain't gonna do what Sanchez is doing. I'm a deep thinker. You see, this benefit Africans at the expense of like black people's work. Instead of them giving you props for building America, They saying you didn't do it in Africa. And they trying to more put the light on the fact that you was at your greatest point when a white man was beating your ass, instead of giving you props for being at your greatest point. If they really talk about when we were great, they will tell you when we were builders, agriculturists, we were so great that the white man wanted to enslave us. You don't have a person be your slave that you don't see something in them you like. Whatever the oppressor saw in our people, he saw it as a benefit to him. You wouldn't risk your life fighting to enslave that group. So, on one hand, the Africans will say black people didn't build them when they was in Africa because they don't want to tell the truth. We weren't even black people when we was in Africa. If you go by this theory, if we want to go with the transatlantic slave trade, you would have to say Africans didn't build shit until the white man brought them to America and turned them into niggas. But you won't say that. You still trying to separate yourself from black people even when you move us back to Africa. And if you see what I'm saying, y'all, just so you can say we ain't shit, we was never shit. That's what you saying. You saying we weren't even shit when we was in Africa. But I'm telling you, we wasn't even we when we was in Africa. We was you, remember? See, this is where your hating goes wrong, because now you shooting yourself in the foot. You can't say, well, you never been shit, because we didn't start off as black people according to you. We started off as you. We started off as West Africans. So when you say we was never shit, you saying even you saying West Africans ain't shit.
That's right.
And you're right, according to your logic, because I'm going to tell you something right now. If you look at what Africans are doing, they ain't really doing shit. They letting their country go to hell, and they letting the Chinese, the French, the Japanese take over. They ain't even, and they think it's a game. If you go to Kenya and Africa right now, they fucking trying to dress up. They fucking got these big clothing trash piles in they land because they done sold their land out to the West, and the West using a lot of Africa for landfills and trash dumps. And the African kids are playing in the trash dumps, picking up the Gucci we throw away. They finding the Louis Vuitton, they making a whole market out of our trash. And that's why the leaders in Africa agreed to let the West dump its clothing in Ghana and Kenya so that they can create a whole nother market out of our fucking waste. And you got the nerve to talk. And you got the nerve. See, I can really be hard on Africans. And I don't like to do it, but y'all make me do it. Y'all make me do it. It's so evil what they doing. They trying to tell black people you ain't shit and you ain't never been shit. But for them to tell us that, the Africans got to shoot their own self in the foot. Because if we ain't never been shit, what about when we were Africans before we was blacks? Y'all forgot about that. And it ain't that they forgot, they playing slow. That's why she's saying black people didn't build nothing when they was in Africa. We weren't even an exclusive group to ourselves in Africa. We was just Africans in Africa. So the correct statement would be Africans ain't build shit even when they was in Africa. And when the white man took us Africans out of Africa and made us niggas in America, then we built something. That'll be the proper way to say it. But see, these tethers, these Africans are trying to exclude themselves from this altogether while throwing black people under the bus. And if you think about it, it's double talk and hypocrisy when they attempt to do that. And I'm showing you why.
The whole of Africa, and then the 16th largest oil producer in the entire world. Yet we have nothing to show for it. We cannot even boast of steady power supply. Some areas.
Now think about it. When black people Okay, check this out, right? There was never a time where there was a group of people called blacks in Africa. So that's a fairy tale. Blacks was always a specific group of people of their own in America. And they understood agriculture, all of that, which is why the white man landed on Plymouth Rock, and the people here automatically knew how to hunt turkeys, how to plant sweet potatoes, corn, okra, you name it. You couldn't think about it. A West African ain't gonna get off a ship in America and know anything about hunting a wild turkey. I'm a country boy, and I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you, when it comes to hunting and when it comes to going in the woods, that's exclusive to the local people. Shout out to GITGG Original. Thank you, man. What does Sanchez mean? It means that if you grow weed in America on the West Coast, don't think you're gonna move to Amsterdam and still be a good weed grower. You're gonna have to basically relearn every goddamn thing, because their weather is different, their soil is different, their strands is totally alien to you. And yeah, you can keep some of the basics, but for the most part, your skills ain't gonna translate well. You gotta relearn this land and this new area and this new ecosystem. You don't grow up your whole existence in West Africa and get off a ship in a foreign land knowing all about the crops of that land, none of which grows in West Africa. A lot of the things that the slaves in America were harvesting are exclusive to America, like yams, like it's so like cotton. A lot of this, even if it's the same crop that's in West Africa, it's such a different form of it that it has to be harvested different. I've done my research. A lot of the crops that the slaves were harvesting in America, you can't even find them in West Africa. How the hell a West African get off the ship knowing everything about turkeys, goats? We talking American animals that you're not gonna find in Africa. Stuff that's so exclusive to America, like the donkey. You telling me the African got off his ship herding donkeys, herding bulls, herding cows? Dude, if you go to Colorado, it take more to become a cowboy than to join the military. And I know this. To be a cowboy in America is harder work than being in the military. It's very tough work. And to be a cowboy, you got to learn so much shit. Bro, you got to learn about plants, animals, all kind of science, agriculture, how the cow psychology, the chicken psychology. People think farming is easy. But dude, to run a farm, you got so many different life forms you got to know about, from plants to animals. Not only know about them, but control them physically, take care of them, Bro, you don't just come into a foreign country doing that day one. But this is what we read in the books. Africans was brought to America, and that these Africans were picking cotton. They was doing all of the work that the slave master didn't want to do. But that work requires a lot of skill, intelligence, science. And you can't say that the slaves were dumb if they were. It's like the same thing with Egypt, right? A lot of theorists say slaves built the pyramids. But okay, it's one thing to say they slaves, but to teach that slaves are dumb is another thing. I'm not saying my people weren't enslaved. I'm saying that the stereotype of the people who was enslaved being the most dumbest people is stupid. That's stupid. The slaves are the wisest people on earth who can't fight, like the nerds. It's like the nerds. It's like the computer hackers. These nerds, these computer hackers, they smart as hell, but they can't fight. They little weak white boys. This is like black people. We had a lot of knowledge of the universe and all that, but we didn't really invest our energy to learn how to fight, to learn weaponry, military stuff, because we come from a golden age on earth when everybody was getting along.
That's right.
There was no need to learn combat skills. People was trying to master their damn souls, man. The people that knew about combat skills, they didn't spend a lot of time mastering their souls. They spent a lot of time learning how to fight, how to make weapons. So we didn't lose our stuff because we were lazy. We lost it because we were soft. I'm going to be honest. We were geniuses. That didn't mean we were warriors. Our people come from the golden age. There was no fighting in the Garden of Eden. So we weren't barbarians. We just now learning how to fight because we never had to defend ourselves. Military science is new to indigenous people.
That's right.
As in my country, can go for months without seeing electricity. I mean, months, okay? Every Nigerian family has their own external power generator, which they purchase at very high cost just to have electricity in their homes. And this is just my country, Nigeria, no matter how small or how simple, is being built by foreign contractors.
Now, what that got to do with black people? See, what these Africans will do, they'll blame all the, instead of them making Africans take accountability for all the problems in Africa, they will turn it into a whole nother narrative and say, how come black people was able to build so much in America, but they didn't do it in Africa? Why are you even putting us into y'all conversation? Y'all problems ain't got nothing to do with us, but this is a new thing and I wanted to do a stream on it because Africans don't have to take accountability for their shortcomings in their country. But and so they don't have to talk about where they're failing at. They say, well, damn, black people, y'all built America, but you couldn't build Africa. But they still making you an exclusive group. It's so messed up. Instead of saying, why can't we build Africa? It's why didn't you niggas do for us what you done for the white man? This is what Africans are following now. This is getting a lot of views. And it's disgusting. So I'll be following this trend.
We are paid by our own government, okay, to build it because we lack the technical know-how. Every tall building you find in big cities, every complex and intricate engineering design you find back in Nigeria was made by a foreigner. Yet,
okay, and I'm going to tell you something. I don't really like a lot of the women in this conversation because when you talk about the fact that foreigners are making your roads and all that in Africa, it's so they can own your land. Women don't understand warfare. White folks don't go to your country and say, can I buy your land? See, what Africans are so dumb, they don't know this. The colonizer don't come to your land and say, hey, we want this stretch of land from here to here. Can we buy that? We want to build a highway so we can ship goods from one of our distributors to the next, but we want to do it through your land, and we want to build us a highway, right? That ain't what the colonizer do. Guess what the colonizer do? The colonizer come to your people and say, hey, we want to build y'all a road, and this road is going to help y'all out. And a chick like her will say, why aren't we building roads, black men? How come all of our roads are being built by the colonizers? You think these colonizers doing you a favor? Yeah, them colonizers will come to you and say, let us build you a road. But really, the road is for them. They ain't never gonna come to you and say, hey, you know, we got some building plans. We want to run a highway through your tribe. We want to run this road through your land to help us get more money from the Arabs. They ain't gonna tell you that. They gonna say, hey, you know, we want to help y'all out. We think if we build this road for y'all, it'll help your tribe out. And now you think they doing something for you. See, and that's why Africans need to stay out of these conversations. They're not educated enough on colonization. And it shows, because look at what's happening to their damn country. And then you coming over here thinking you know something about the colonizer when black people over here have success fighting this beast.
That's right.
We ain't just losing at the hands of this colonizer like these Africans is. We giving this oppressor a good ass run for his money as black Americans in this country. And we've been doing it a long time, which proves we ain't the same.
Africans built the world. We built everywhere. We invented everything, but we never invented things in Africa. Now, I'm only talking about Nigeria because I lived there. I have experienced there. I'm not even talking about other African countries.
At this time, we're opening up the call lines. I have until 3 o'clock, so I got to cut her short. We get the point, and now we got to go to the call lines. So if people want to call in, I'm dropping the call link. Shout out to the brother Nasir. Shout out to K Paper Chase. Shout out to Jay Scaramella. Thank you for the super chat. Pan-Africans and West Africans deep down hate blacks. Yeah, and this shows. This shows, man. Because they ain't this stupid. The moment she said black people didn't build that in Africa, I said, yeah, they hate us. Because we weren't even black people in Africa. According to the theory, we were all Africans then. But you still trying to target this specific group as being nothing, lazy and incompetent. I tell you, if a white man sleep under a tree, that's just a strong working white man taking a break. But if a black man is sleeping under that same tree, that's a lazy nigga. I'm going to say that again. If a white man is sleeping under a tree, to the average American, oh, that's a hard working white man that need a break. If a black man sleeping under that same tree, that's a lazy nigga. I'm going to say it. What up, K Paper Chase? Welcome to the show, man. Thank you for joining.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, I just want to say, yo, what's happening right now is Africa is not even able to build their own roads. They don't even know, they don't even have the workforce or the skills to do it. So what they're doing, they're trying to create programs and stuff now to teach them. So maybe in about 20 years or 30 years when these kids graduate or whatever, they'll be able to do it. But they can't even do simple engineering. So that's why China jumping in and they building everything over China. But what they'll do, they'll put a lease on it. So they'll be like, okay, we're gonna build this road for you, but we got a lease on it for the next 100 years, so we own it now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's what, see, K Paper Chase, I thought I didn't have to talk about stuff like this, that I can just be deep all the time, but I'm realizing this shit's deep too, but this is deep. Like, this is the historical deception, the political shit, and I'm saying, bro, our people lost with this shit, because like you said, even Africans, they got the French building roads and tunnels and highways, and you got a lot of them using that to talk down on the black African men in that land and throw it up in black man face in America. And I'm like, bro, ain't nobody helping y'all out. Ain't nobody doing nothing for y'all for free. Y'all are praising the Asians and the Chinese and the fucking French and the Russians coming in here. They telling you we rebuilding y'all infrastructures, y'all on dirt roads and shit. Let us put a highway here, and it ain't got nothing to do with the damn Africans in that land. But see,
Yeah, man.
you feel me, man?
Yeah, I feel you. And really, they the dumb ones. So they saying that we're so dumb. And like you said earlier, it's a jealousy kind of thing. I think they want to be black people. You know, they jealous. So they always try to put us down, like you said, separate themselves from us. But for real, we're better than them.
That's
You know what
facts,
I
bro.
mean?
But you know what? We won't say that until they start talking shit. We know that, but we don't say it because we humble. We don't want
Right. Now,
we don't want to divide, right?
now imagine if we got with those Africans, you know how much more power we would have. You know what I mean?
But see, every time we try to get with them, they smack us in the face and let us know they only want to prove that they loyal to this oppressor. And the only way they can do that is by shitting on us. And we did the same thing. It's like, this same pastor gonna say Nelson Mandela sold South Africa out. But when Nelson Mandela was in power, all of Africa was on that man nuts, not just black people in America. In fact, black people in America gained favor with Africans because we became Nelson Mandela fans. During that time, if you won with Nelson Mandela, Africans won with you. But now Pastor Manning trying to come out and act like Nelson Mandela is a black man that helped destroy Africa. And I'm like, no, Nelson Mandela is a South African, just like all the other African leaders that's been selling that country out. We not gonna chocolate coat Mandela and make this a black problem. Like that's what I'm saying. You got this pastor going in on black people, but the shit y'all bringing up is more African people. That's Africans people's problems. Because the whole rant is why black people didn't build that in Africa. My answer is, nigga, because we was never there.
Yo, I don't know if he getting paid, if he been infiltrated or what, or if he really believe what he's saying. And that's why I be trying to figure out with some of these people. Like, you can't be that dumb, right?
Yeah, they getting paid.
Peace
Gotta
and
be.
love, y'all.
Peace and love, Sister
Yo,
Jaden. Welcome back.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, right now, like, I know they're being colonized, whatever, blah, 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 blah. They have an opportunity to kick these motherfuckers off their land. You get what I'm saying? Like, they have that opportunity and do everything themselves. Yes, we didn't build nothing there. We was never there, like you just said. But them over there, unlike us, we still have a battle to fight against this corporation. They, on the other hand, over there, they could easily get rid of the motherfuckers off their land. But they're not doing that. So they would rather be colonized and continue to talk about the Black American, in which we're not talking about y'all. Like, we don't care about what y'all got going on over there, but y'all care about what we got going on over here,
Right.
which is insane to me.
But you know what's so crazy is you got a lot of black men. Like, I didn't know Pastor Manning was from New York because he's talking like a dumb country southern preacher who only know the Bible and the white man's history. A lot of dudes up north, even if they in the church, they will have a more Hebrew ideology when it come to politics, because a lot of up north niggas know that the white man lied to us in history. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock, but they believe in Jesus. So you feel me? So
Right.
It's like, I don't understand how you can have far right racist white talking points and be a black pastor, because that's kind of some liberal and conservative shit merging. Because on one hand, you kind of making black people victims with the Bible under they turning away from God, which is kind of a liberal take. But then on the other hand, nah, black people, it's your fault, you lazy. That is the far, it's confusing. You know what I'm saying? If you're far right or you're far left, nigga.
they're mixed messages.
That let me know you playing both sides for benefit. Because
Peace, my brother.
peace and love, brother Nasir. I'm gonna say this and turn the mic over to y'all. Look, either you're gonna pick the right or the left or neither. The people that pick both, I hate them more than the people that pick one.
Yeah, they like to come over here and align themselves with those who they perceive as winning. That's what they do.
because a lot of people don't realize that the real American dream is to come over here and be white as a status. And that's what a lot of them do. They come over here, they try to undermine our efforts and our thinking, but they flee their land to come over here. And then they try to undermine us and sometimes align themselves with us, not to form a camaraderie, but to do what they do, to be leeches off us. A lot of the especially Africans, they need to really stop their madness. They come over here. My father told me a long time ago, because at one point I believed in that alignment and that coalition, that different, we supposed to be all together. I believed that at one time. My father told me straight up that them people don't like us. Yeah, I did own them at one time, brother.
I got
I'm
rid
gonna
of
be
my
real
shit.
with you.
Yeah, back in the day,
I
that
don't
was
own them
shit.
anymore, but I own some. But I was on that, free Africa,
Mm-hmm.
Mandela, apartheid, and all the others. I was on it at one time, bro. But they delineated from us, so they get mad when we delineate from them when they come over here, and we are not going for their games anymore. Because that's all they do is come in and play games, and they're the biggest scammers on earth, bro. The biggest scammers.
And you know
So
what
what do y'all think? Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, you got it, Kate.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, what do y'all think the white man feel of the Africans? Do you think the white man gives Africans more respect than the black people,
Oh
or do they
yeah.
see them as
Oh yeah. Because
I do.
yeah. You want to go first? Yeah, I go out there.
Yeah, I do. I'm just agreeing with the brother. I agree. They do.
Yeah, I think they do too, because the the Africans can make the talking points that the white supremacists can't make, and they look like us. And that's why the white supremacists are trying to force the world to believe black people are Africans. And then once they do that, he can say, well, look, they own people are speaking up, and it ain't our own people, it's a tether. They trying to make us Africans, and then they got the Africans hating blacks. You see the game? Like,
yeah,
And when I used to go and speak on the campus, on Rutgers campus, a lot of them told me that it's a criteria that they have to have in order to come here. And they have to not mess with us. They tell them straight up. And they say a lot of disparaging things about us when they're, like foreign exchange students going to Rutgers and whatever. But they'll tell them we're lazy, we're thieves, we're rapists, we're whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then they'll tell them to stay away from us. And then they believe everything that's said about us by our open and consistent enemy. And they align themselves with white folks, and they'll use their talking points that, and they're not even bought and paid for with a lot. It's some of them come from dirt poor, and they're bought and sold for a little of nothing, and they'll come and sell out for a little of nothing. But they'll come over here and they'll think they're better than us with nothing.
Exactly. And that's because they think that they can get all the resources from the government that we can't get. You get what I'm saying? So, like, for example, food stamps, for example. I can't even get food stamps. But they coming over here getting 10,000 on their shit. It's insane to me. And then they think that they're better than you because of that. You get what I'm saying? I'm just using that as an example. There's a whole bunch of like government resources that we can't even get on our own shit.
And they will be used to say what white folks want to say. Like a Myron Gaines, he'll say everything they want to say but can't say because they don't want to be seen as the racists they are. So they'll get dumb Negroes to say what they want to say, either from because they got some tethers from here too. But I'm speaking about the tethers from abroad now. They'll get them to say what they want to say but can't say. And they'll do it so willingly.
Yep, that's very true. And then the lady that's speaking up in the video, who is that lady anyways? I never heard of her until you came out with this
You know,
video.
the whole thing about these people, you have a different tether go viral every other day. And the thing is, it ain't that the people, it ain't really about her. It's about the trending topic, and she just a one of many, right? What happens is more about Pastor Manning than it is her. And everybody you probably know who Pastor Manning is. And see, Pastor Manning is having his viral moment for being the coon that he is. And I don't address a lot of stuff like this. But see, I've addressed Pastor Manning before. I'm thorough when I cover people because I think Pastor Manning is dangerous to with his statements to black people, and he got a congregation. He's a pastor, which means he's in a position of a leader. Like, one thing about the agenda, it say that the black people's religious leaders are gonna lead them to the slaughterhouse. That's part of Rex 84. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I was saying, like, pastors like him, they part of the agenda. They part of the agenda, and it shows. But yeah, it ain't about the chick for real. Her name Modi Speaks. But see, the reason I'm playing her video is because she's an African woman. It'll be different. I wanted to let you see that the African people are getting behind this. That's why I specifically chose hers.
Right. I got you.
Pastor Manning, brother, nothing he said pertained to us. He was talking about us, but nothing he said had anything to do with us or what we supposed to be doing.
That's what I'm tripping off.
Nigeria, all these different countries in Africa had nothing to do with us.
But see, that's why they trying to make us act. And here go the thing. You want blacks to be Africans when we talking about the failures, but then you say African people did it when we talk about the success. So just what this chick is doing, she say, well, black people didn't build nothing when they was in Africa. Well, when you talk about the people that didn't do nothing in Africa, you call them black, even though the term black didn't even exist at that time. And when you talk about the people that did something, you say them African people. See, that's the game.
They always delineate when it comes to success. They're the first Nigerian this, they're the first Ghanaian this. But you know, when the man shot up the damn train, they said black.
Mm-hmm.
But they won't delineate when it comes to their success. They'll delineate when it comes to their success, but when it comes to some idiocy, they want to morph us all together.
Hey,
but they don't see themselves as our brothers and our sisters. They don't.
Yep. And I'm gonna tell you something, bro. It fucking hurts because I'm gonna tell you something. As a child, my folks ain't never taught me to hate Africans. My folks taught me that African people are my brothers and sisters and that I can have African pride. See, even though I'm an Aboriginal and my folks taught me that we was Indians and we always been here, my people didn't mind me wearing a dashiki and showing some pride with them brothers too. So it's different, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is, what really fucked it up for me when I found out it was one way. Like, okay, black people trying to be everybody else, but everybody else just looking at you like a lazy nigga behind closed doors.
My father told
Sanchez,
me
I want to say something.
Yeah, man, go ahead. Produce.
Yeah,
Jesse.
I want to say something.
Go ahead.
Yeah. See, I'm Nigerian. My parents are from the Igbo tribe, but I'm born in the Netherlands. I totally understand what you're saying. Because I'm like born here in Europe, we see from we can see from outside like what is really going on with the hate that the Black Americans, specifically Aborigine, from the beginning, you know, I know there's a different type of hate that I'm seeing with y'all, and I don't understand why the black people from Africa, so the Africa like the Nigerians, they have amnesia. They don't know anything past colonization. They don't know where they come from, to be honest. You know, so all the hate that they have towards y'all, that's all projection. That's all self-reflection. It has nothing to do with y'all, you know, because I've been in Nigeria twice. The first time was in 2007, and the second time was 2018. All I saw was white Jesus all over the place. White Jesus.
Yeah.
That's all they know. They have been fully colonized from
Remember,
inside out.
remember that video of the African lady getting on her knees for that let's pull it up. It was a prince or something. What was it?
And that's
Bro,
normal over there.
bro, Sanchez, the title of this video is crazy also, bro. Africans built nothing. Black
Right.
pastor exposes ugly truth about black people.
Right.
They're not synonymous.
And that truth is a lie. What they
And
saying
and
is a
and
lie.
you see that right there, Nasir, that's the part that tripping off. Like Africans built nothing, but then when you said expose the ugly truth, it should be about African people. Why you even
Exactly.
put the yeah, bro.
Want to put us all together as if their failures is our failures when we over here doing what we supposed to do for the most part, or at least striving. We're not fleeing and coming over here.
Yeah, man.
If it wasn't for the civil rights movement, no black immigrant, nobody would have come. We couldn't even come to the Netherlands if the civil rights movement didn't happen. We wouldn't even come to the Netherlands, you know? So y'all have made a bigger impact than y'all think, you know? It's not the things that happened in America, the changes also happen across the board, you
Yeah,
know?
sometimes I think it's just jealousy. They just jealous. I bet a lot of them wish
Of
they had
course
been
it's
put on the
jealousy.
slave ship. You know what I mean? They want to be over here. They wish they was enslaved. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know what I know because they know what happened. So to me it's weird. Why are y'all worshiping that white concept, that that white supremacist mindset? Like y'all know exactly what happened. The British, the French, the Portuguese. They supposed to be out there demanding that bag, demanding the reparations instead of worshiping them. You know what Ibrahim Traoré is doing in Burkina Faso, putting food down their neck. They should be doing what Ibrahim is doing, you know. But Ibrahim knows what's up.
This man got a Manning has to be at least 70 years old for him to not know the difference. Is shameful. Shameful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's crazy, man. And I don't even know. I ain't gonna play no more of this. We get the point. But
yeah.
yeah, it's crazy, man.
I just
But
wanted to say because I've
mental
been seeing a lot of tethers, leechers, just talking crazy. Somalians, Nigerians, just going crazy on Black Americans, like we ain't put like y'all ain't put them on, you know, like
That's
y'all ain't
crazy.
put them on.
That's
That's the
crazy.
That's
truth
crazy.
because it was it was us who made it possible for them to come here. And for them to come here and be disrespectful, that's crazy to me, man. They're supposed to
Uh,
come here and have the utmost respect. And they should really be uniting with us because we made it possible for them to come here. But they come and they unite with or try to at least align themselves, as I said earlier, with people who they perceive as winning. And
and
not only
meanwhile,
Africans do that, they do a lot of people come here and they want to align themselves with those who they perceive as winning and they become white supremacists. At least try to be
me
honorary anyway.
and also meanwhile. While our population is increasing, the other, they are declining. So I don't know why they're even on their side. They are losing the battle. I'm not really saying they're losing the battle, but they're losing the battle. They going all crazy about that Carmelo Anthony situation or that, like any situation where Black Americans get one grain of justice, just justice once, they go crazy. They want to change the laws. they have to put in anti-black hate laws for this because this is getting ridiculous. You know, we are seeing the effects also here in the Netherlands, like the hate, like the white people are going crazy over here in the Netherlands too, because all the black people are just flooding all over the place, you know, and these white people are mad. So yeah, man.
So I think when it comes to self accountability, J-Bo official, I'm with you. I don't say stop blaming other people. I say if you're gonna blame yourself, you need to blame you need to point out all blame if you're gonna point out some blame. I don't agree with y'all. I say
I
this.
agree.
Black people need to look at where we messing up at, and we need to look at what they're doing to us. But see, when we start pointing out what these systems are doing to keep us down, people say we blaming. And I just don't agree with that. I'm pointing out to you your reality. What am I blaming white people on doing? Running the world, colonizing people? Then it's telling the truth about them. Like, if I'm blaming the devil for lying, killing, and deceiving, am I blaming or just telling you what we up against? This what these
That's
people
pointing
do.
out. It's really pointing out.
Yeah.
That's what you're really doing is pointing it
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
But
True.
as far as our people, we got a whole lot of problems we need to fix. But that don't negate the fact that we got opposition outside of ourselves.
Well, we also keep forgetting how those problems even started in the first place. See, yes, accountability and responsibility and looking at ourselves is a good thing, but we should never forget how that problem even started in the first place, and that is that system. That system needs to be fixed, you know. And if we got all these people
We need to destroy it.
blaming the citizens instead of the government, it's a big problem because the citizens are they decide how you say that, like they are the bosses of the government. They decide what the government should do, not the other way around. You know, if you get what I'm saying.
The people have to
Yeah,
assert, people have to assert the power that we can potentially have. We don't understand that the power is ours, and once we recognize that, we can assert the power that we have. But as long as we have sellouts that take a payoff to sell everybody out, and this is everybody, not necessarily just black people. This is everybody in the system because
Yeah.
everybody's in the system. And if we realize the power that we have, we can assert that power.
right.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
like,
true.
yes,
And I'm respond to you, J-Bo. You said I agree with the point, but we got to start with self accountability. I agree with everything you saying, J-Bo. Up until that, we got to start with this or end with that. We live in a world where if you can't do both of these at the same time, your people gonna be doomed. Now let me give you an example. If I'm a football coach, yes, I'm going to make my team point out where we went wrong, we missed blocks, we didn't play good enough. But I'm also going to show them what the other team did to go right and capitalize on our situation. I ain't just going to have a self-accountable as coaching session. As I'm
Yeah,
going to
it'll
hold
make
my team,
sense. Yeah.
right, I'm going to hold my team accountable for where they messed up, but at the same time, I'm going to show them how their opponent whoop their ass. And it ain't that I'm blaming the opponent for nothing. I'm showing them how these people winning and how we losing. And that's where the self-accountable part come in to show us how we losing. But the other part is to show how they winning. You gotta do both of them at the same time or you're doomed. You can't say do
Exactly.
this one first or that one last. You got to do them at the same time.
Yeah.
If you are throwing the left hook and you don't have no protection up with your right hand and you're not tucking your chin, if that person catch you, it's because you're not listening to what your corner say. What you described, bro, Sanchez, is what a corner man would tell his fighter. He's catching you with this because you're not doing that. That's why he's winning, because you're not slipping punches. And you're not moving enough. You're not moving your head enough. And when you throwing punches, you're leaving yourself wide open. You're not putting no protection up while you're throwing punches, just winging the punches. So when we try to give a strategy on how to win, that's self accountability also, because you're telling the person what they're not doing.
Yeah.
To win.
Shout out to J Bo. Me, because we in agreement with everything as far as we just had to clarify, but yeah, that's facts. Because, and I'm gonna say this, man, there are some black folks that's blaming everything on the white man, and so there is some truth to that. There is some people that like they'll blame everything on the white man, and some of that stuff we can you know what I'm saying, it be us for real.
That is true. That is true. And we have to, we all, like, not only Americans, every black person on this planet, we have to be held accountable for our own losses. Exactly. But no, I still don't think I can't just say it's our fault. They have, like, it's so much evidence and so much history to where you just can't deny it. So even if they say, it's because of the white man, a part of that is still true. Even though they blame everything towards that, a part of that is still true, because who's running the system? Who's doing all these? Who's letting all these murderers or racist people get away with murder? You know, so yeah, you can say that we need to. They can blame everything on them, but they actually can. You know, things that we can fix ourselves, they actually can blame them, because it's not a surprise. But we still have to be accountable, though.
I blame us for I blame us a lot for how we respond to things.
Yeah, it's more our response, our
That's what
emotional
I blame us
response.
for, how we respond to things, because we always respond how we should when something happens. And that comes from a lack of preparation also. Because some of us think that, okay, because it didn't happen to me, I'm not worried about it. But when it happened to you, you want everybody to rally around you, like you was on this all the time. See, myself always say we need to develop a nervous system when it comes to our people. That means feel each other's pain. If Bro Sanchez helps something happening with him, I'm supposed to react to that and feel that. If he's minding his business, somebody attack him or something happened to him, I'm supposed to feel that. All of our people are supposed to feel that and respond appropriately. But we don't do that. We're starting to, though. We're starting to.
You see the difference with the FBA movement. It's less emotion. It's more, we FBA, get it, or get down or lay down. We don't. I see the movement, and I'm really thankful. Coming from a Nigerian person, I'm really
That's
happy
love.
and thankful that y'all are
And
doing this,
and
because
you
all the other black people
Salute to
need
the
to see this. You
and I
know.
want to make a little clarification. FBA is not a get down or lay down movement. It's a get down or just don't say nothing about us or keep our name out your mouth movement. It ain't okay. So it's like
exactly.
this. You don't gotta lay down if you don't get with us, but you gotta leave us the fuck alone and don't be in the way.
Yeah, and you can tell that
Yeah.
these people can't leave you alone. We are they say we are the bottom of the class system, but for some reason that's 24/7 attention to us. And how can I just read this on the census? How can they say that black people are the least economic if y'all are third place? You can see on the list, y'all are third place. Chinese first, white is second, third is black, fourth is Hispanic. So how the fuck is there still this lie going on that niggas is broke? Niggas ain't broke.
Nah, we're not
Yeah,
broke, but we have spending issues. You know what
yeah,
I'm
we got
saying?
Yeah,
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
it's
sir.
more of the
That's
control
all.
of, yeah, that's it. So that I don't like that narrative. I see many black people also in Europe making a bag, but they say, yeah, we don't have money. But I see so many black people driving nice
We
cars.
we got we got money, we don't got wealth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Family wealth. Yeah.
Now there's a
Like the brother
science to
said, we got
turning money.
privilege.
Yeah. Now I think there's a
Clever
science
brother.
to turning money into wealth. And then but you gotta know the difference between the two. And I'll say this, I ain't an expert, cause listen, what I know is this. Money, people with money work for their money. People with wealth, they money work for them. That's it in a nutshell.
Mm.
So
Now
when you
that
gotta
should be a point with this AI stuff and this automation. That I think black people can can make something out of turn this into wealth. Uh, with this
so
new
the
technology what we
and the
got
point.
going on,
Hey, let me
I
say
think so.
one thing. My bad. I don't trying to cut you off. I'm gonna fall back. The reason I say that is because the people with a lot of money, when they learn how to use that money and leverage it for power, then the money becomes wealth. Now you becoming wealthy. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they don't care about people with a lot of money. They care about people that can translate their money into power.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because yeah, that's facts. Because if when black
That makes a
people
whole
have
lot of sense.
enough power, go ahead.
I said that makes a whole lot of sense because a lot of times, like when you're in certain industries, they would give you a lot of money. They spare no expense. But when you try to exercise some power and become on the same level as them, then it becomes problematic because even though I always say they do the dirt with you to get the dirt on you, but the
And
main
also,
problem these people got with Diddy is trying to empower himself.
yeah,
I
They know
gotta
he did
agree
the
with that.
dirt.
I gotta agree with it.
You know what I'm
and
saying? They did
also,
the dirt with him to get the dirt on him. But his main problem is when he started talking about, being in certain types of power. The same with everybody else who try to get up there, climb that ladder. Now they want to
yeah,
knock you down off
And
the
and,
ladder.
and, and here's a problem too. This is where self-discipline, like the Islam, I am self-law, because look, the more power that a black man get, the most squeaky clean his life gotta be. It's just like that. Like if
Right,
you
right.
want to
facts,
make it to
facts.
certain levels, you gotta be self-disciplined. That's what Puff
Yeah,
Daddy,
Exactly.
because it ain't like that. It ain't a lot of people doing what Diddy doing. It ain't like us black men
Exactly.
defending Diddy if he's wrong. We saying
Exactly.
they knew he was doing it. They doing it with him, and but that ain't why they locked him up. Is what we saying. Yeah.
Yep.
mm.
And,
And
and
also,
also being that they are the power structure, they're the power structure. They can do that same dirt with him and not go down.
Yep.
He did the
yeah,
dirt. He did what he's accused of. He did it.
but that's
But
how.
But he
they're
was
not the
in
he's not
everybody's
the power.
face.
He's not the power structure. He's not the power structure. They can do the same exact thing. But when they get ready for you, you're not gonna be a tool in the shed that they can use and you're gonna collect dust. No, they break their tools when they done with them. They break them. That's what they
Yeah,
do.
Yeah.
and also when you look at when money turns into power, when we have the money and the power, there will be less a conviction, less sentencing, less black people being sent to jail. There will be less police brutality. The power uh, will strike them, and the same way how the anti-Semitic stuff, how people shut themselves down and apologize. That's the power that we're gonna have when they start going crazy. When
And,
they start saying the N word, then we shut them down, jail time or whatever. We can make sure that
It's
they
going
will be held accountable in public.
I got to say one thing. Somebody in the chat room brought up um, Burkina Faso. What's this new leader name? I can't pronounce it.
Ibrahim Traore,
Ibrahim Traore. Yeah, yeah.
Traore, Traore, Traore,
Traore. Thank you. I've been
Traore.
Traore. Hey man,
Yeah.
listen. Let me say something about that real quick. I see a lot of black conservative brothers saying he don't stand a chance. The location of that country is cut off from any trade routes. And I saw a whole little video on a lot of cats. They was like, you know, it's overhyped. You like black people getting behind this dude.
That's
They
that
was showing
Sambo stuff.
right,
Once
but
again,
and I'm gonna tell you why I agree with you, right? Cause it's like all of y'all will say that men are able to conquer in their problematic moments, like men are problem solvers. They will get behind Trump and be like, well, Trump was given a country that was falling apart. He turned it around. But you won't get behind Abraham Traore, even though his shit falling apart, he trying to turn it around. But you can only do that with the white man. That's what I want. I wanted to click and call into some of these joints. I was seeing niggas with the Sambo shit, the real talk.
a little bit hypocritical, ain't it?
Absolutely correct, bro. Sanchez. You know, a lot of people want to get on the team that's winning. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be Jordan and make a team a winning team. You know what I'm saying? That brother trying to make a team a winning team instead of, bandwagoning.
Right.
Yeah,
And,
they
And
and
want to
that's
be
and
what
like
and and,
a
and
LeBron.
lot of these white
I'm
folks,
I'm I'm gonna show you.
real for real.
I'm gonna say this and fall back. What's sad? Cause boy, y'all cooking. Check it out, man. They say, well, Africans just running from their land and they want to call them tethers, but then the man that stay there and fight, you got something to say about him too.
Bro,
Right. And what
all I see is that brother is standing up and he's being the best leader he could, and he's not punking out.
That's all I'm saying, man. And if
That's
I'm
everything you
saying,
need is
listen,
leader.
if I'm saying Africans be running to America and they running away from their problem, I can't be talking shit about Abraham because he's the
Exactly.
exception. So it's a lot of
Exactly.
channels that like to say Africans doing this, doing that, and they talking crap about Abraham. I'm like, wait a minute, you can't do both of those.
And
Yes, sir.
also kind of picking where Gaddafi left off. With Gaddafi, they only needed like a few assassination attempts. With this Ibrahim, they don't had 20 attempts, and he's still here, man. You know, that's a bomb for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more thing. I think a lot of these Africans, what they don't realize too, they trying to align with the white man, right? But they don't realize that if it really come down to it, the white man gonna see them, their black ass just like us. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna make a difference when it comes between choosing, between his white comrade and between the African. They'll get the same treatment as we do, when it boils down to it.
Yeah. And
And
see the
they'll
thing
use
about what
them.
I heard, I'm sorry.
They'll use them, brother, but they don't see them. They don't distinguish them. You know what I'm saying? They distinguish them in one way, in a way, okay, these people or we can use them, be that weapon of mass distraction in America to, you know, the black Americans. And that's what it is, brother. It's all kinds of weapons of mass distraction. Want to
Look
keep
here.
us from doing what we need to do as a people.
That's weapons of mass distraction is a dope term, bro. And you know what's crazy? Um, they said when Ibrahim got in power, right? He immediately got the French up out of there. They showed the footage of the French moving out and all that, right? My
Got
whole
him
thing,
up out of there quick.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
the French
Indeed.
dude,
Skedaddle.
yeah, and it's like ever since then the media propaganda has been backing the French, of course. So it's like we gotta be careful what propaganda we getting into. A lot of Negroes
And
be
and
sucking up they shit from I make my own mind up with shit,
and
me
France and
personally.
France ain't that sweet, bro. France is like awful. Like it's not that rich. It's awful.
See,
Like
the thing
Paris,
is,
Paris is awful. Like it's not what you think. It's ghetto as hell over there.
these dudes like to talk about America was built from the ground up by strong men, boom, boom, boom. But then y'all same dudes is over here criticizing Ibrahim, saying how it's a uphill battle. It's a fucking, you know, he is It's not, you know, you can say whatever you want, it's his. I would, you know, my
Exactly.
whole thing is, you know, I think we looking at it wrong, but yeah, I'm gonna do a whole nother video on that because it's just a lot of hypocrisies I want to debate with these conservatives who taking
But
with their little
but
talking points. Yeah.
didn't they? Ain't Africa trying to do like a United States of Africa or United Countries of Africa,
Man,
They
just like
try.
the
Africa,
United States of the United States of America, something
They
like
don't
that?
want. They
Yeah, I
thought
heard
that
about that.
guy with Gaddafi, but this brother is trying. This brother Ibrahim brought it back up. They thought it died with him because that's what Gaddafi was trying to do: start a
yeah,
United States of Africa and unite all of Africa instead of
yeah.
being like all these colonies and everything. Unite
Hmm.
everybody, and
And that's what colonizing is all about. Yeah,
Yeah, because
and
they
they
did
and
it
they,
to
they
us.
killed him and they killed him. They killed him for that.
you know, because right now you got a bunch of different colonies or countries in Africa all competing against each other on one land, doing business deals with whoever outside power to benefit this one location. And it ain't none for the betterment of the continent as a whole. There's no vision for that. It's just every country cutting deals, selling themselves out to foreign powers at the end of the day, and these countries being the most wealthiest because we sold our country out the most. So it'll be like you go to the poorest places in Africa and you know that the leaders are still rich as hell at the top. You know what
Man,
I'm
they
saying?
balling. I've
Right.
been
But
to
you know what was
Nigeria.
crazy?
They
Always,
balling.
You know what was
always.
crazy, bro? People can say what they want about Gaddafi, but that's not how he did things, bro.
Right.
He shared the wealth of Libya with the people, and was no homelessness. People had cars, people got stipends, and he slept in a tent while they had homes.
See, they ain't killing a man for doing for nothing. And so my thing is like, yeah, Ibrahim gonna have to watch his back if he the new Gaddafi, because
Have to.
all of these countries in Africa, they are pro-colonial. Like I said, I can play you a
Mm-hmm.
video of an African woman kneeling to the queen. They look like they colonized. So you don't have a lot of countries in Africa that's on some anti-colonial, we don't care like type about the foreign powers. That
Right
may be
about that.
right. That's like a new revolution Ibrahim starting in the land that is taking flight too, and the children. And so, like, if the children start picking up this rebellion and it spread, man, look here, that's
That's all you
crazy.
need, bro. You need the
And
youth. So
that's
when
and
you
that's
once you get
why
the youth behind you, bro, give the youth that spirit. Then that's another game. Then
He's a
and
threat for sure.
that's why Africa and all those those immigrants, that's why they have to look at y'all and listen to Black Americans, because every time when Black Americans speak and they are mad about something, the world shakes, you know? So I don't even understand why they have to come
That's
together,
crazy.
because now is the time. But then you see, uh when you realize that Black Americans are like the most waken up from the uh, post-slavery. Y'all have woken up the most. The rest of us is still asleep. We still in 1700s, 1800s. Y'all are pretty far ahead, and that's another reason why they hate you.
Yeah.
Y'all have waken up
You
pretty,
know why?
because y'all were the
Because
first.
you know what it
Sorry.
is? You so spot on because we know firsthand the bullshit of this beast. And this beast is introducing himself to new people around the world as a saint. And if black people show up, we can kind of fuck his plan up. We already know what he done to us. So if he
absolutely,
going trying to
Facts.
do it to us, you see what I'm saying?
absolutely.
That's why,
But
yeah.
we're so much hated. So I mean, for damn, they damn sure wasn't over here helping us. We got Marcus Garvey trying to get us back to Africa, and things like that. I'm just saying. So for us to stick up for these other people when nobody was thinking about us over here in America, I'm sorry, they wasn't.
Bro,
I don't even
Sanchez,
Yeah.
I
if
don't
you
even
went
want y'all to help
on
Africans no more after all this. I don't even want y'all to help Africans and all these immigrants because they
It ain't
violated.
about, but you know what's sad? It ain't about want the agenda that the UN got for the world. We gonna fucking hop to, we just gonna all be done for.
Right, exactly. So we're gonna have to stand up. We're gonna have to come together and help these
There's no
people,
other choice.
help everybody.
You know
Keep on
what,
rise
crazy?
up. What happened?
Everybody,
before it.
What's happening over there happens to here
yeah,
already. So we have to. We're gonna have to. We like to help. You get what I'm saying? That's why we
you
allow
know,
everybody over here on our land.
yeah, that is
Yeah, that's
true.
true,
So
man.
That's true. Cause if we the main ones, like I said, bro, you know, you got Africans over here, you got Americans in Africa, and the colonizers are in both areas. Yeah, we gotta work together because everybody everywhere and the world trade system is, if we talking economics, is right, right. If Africa doing business with all these foreigners that don't look like them, but the foreigners, for example, are taking a diamond that they dug up for 10 cents, and a rapper that's in Houston, some black kid, bought that shit for 50,000. And he's middleman and a resource between people in the world that wouldn't do to each other like that if they was doing the business directly. So
Yeah,
it
just
would benefit
straight
us
from the
to work
source.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll benefit all us to work together for real.
It
yeah,
will.
straight from the source. Yeah, that would be a
You know, our
that would
hands
be a
may be forced
perfect
to fall.
business.
So
right, we could get back to trading.
Yeah, trading from the US to Africa, straight, just diamonds straight to that. The artist can the artist can rap about, oh, my diamonds from South Africa, my diamonds from Nigeria, instead of my diamonds from this jeweler.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The middleman shit is crazy because, like I said, I'm using diamonds, but you can use this for any resource for real. You know what I'm saying?
sure
But
could.
it's just crazy how just cause I got to go through them to get to you, the price on everything. Like when we say we pay taxes, you can really put middleman in front of the word middleman tax. Is where it boils down to.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood that tether hate. I really never did. I grew up listening to 50 Cent, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. I never understood the hate. I never did. It was normal for us to mimic 50 Cent. Like, I don't know why these people hate y'all.
Oh,
That's
oh,
weird.
somebody put in the chat room lab diamonds. Now here's another thing since I brought up diamonds. Yeah, you know there's a big scam came out where the Chinese admitted that a lot of these niggas is saying they getting these diamonds from Africa. But listen, a lot of these diamonds ain't even coming from Africa. They coming from labs in China. Yo, I heard about that. I heard about that.
Yeah, lab grown
Bro
diamonds.
Sanchez, bro Sanchez, right along with them dashikis, bro. Them dashikis come from.
Yeah. Damn, bro. That's
Also, the
crazy.
Pan-Africa movement. Also that. The
Damn.
Dashiki movement. That's something y'all started. Niggas wasn't even wearing that shit in Africa. No,
That's crazy.
that started like y'all made that shit famous, and people started wearing it again. Yeah, I know everything. I've been studying African history and American history, Dutch history, European history. I'm watching everything, Tartaria, everything, flat Earth, everything. You gotta stay up to date, man. You can't be sleeping out here.
That's facts.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I'm down for all of the smoke, man. But I'm gonna be
For real.
respectful with it. I want all the smoke. Because listen, bro, the shit I've been hearing, it's crazy how any other time they would say these pastors don't know what they be talking about. These pastors is dumb. But this pastor right here, when he go and say these points, everybody acting like he a genius. Like he's telling the truth though. and he's going viral. I'm like, really? This the truth, man. All right.
I don't ever want to.
Manning is
I
a
don't
straight
ever want to hear
buffoon.
that pastor again.
Bro, he's straight ignoramus, bro. Pastor Manning. The
I
only
don't
thing
want to
that
hear him
the
again.
only stance that I support that he ever, stood up for, he stands real firm against, the alphabets.
Yeah.
He straight up stand up.
He almost sounded like an alphabet when he
He do
mentioned
sound like
Nigeria.
he sound a little suspect. You know
He
what,
sounded like an
Nah, that's an
alphabet.
age group.
bro
Sorry.
Sanchez. If you
Stay
ever want,
with
bro
Dr. Umar
Sanchez,
Autumn.
Yo,
if you
man,
ever
that
want to
nigga
do
voice funny.
an animated series of Pastor Manning, bro, you got that. I'm telling you. You ever want to do an animated joint about him? You got his voice.
But he was
Hey,
singing.
man.
He was
Yo,
singing.
I'm
Fine,
telling
man.
you, bro, that nigga voice is so funny, man. Damn, bro, that nigga. And in Africa.
You got him down though, bro. You want to
And
do an
not,
animated series about him, bro? You do that.
in Nigeria.
Yo, Sanchez, man, you be joking around. I be on the floor, man. I be on the floor.
Oh,
This shit
man.
is so damn funny, man. And when you say son,
These characters, man, I'm telling you though, bro, they man. Listen,
oh,
I got to get
man.
my ass up out of here, man. Hey, Brooke, I'm gonna go back live later, Brooke. You asking for the let me see. Maybe I can squeeze you in real quick. Well,
Also,
actually, damn, I
also,
gotta
my
get
brother
I got
watches you too. I found you out. I found you out to my brother, my oldest brother, and he was like, he always laughed like when you said like a fool, you know.
Yeah, that made him go back for a minute then.
No,
Yeah, I've been
Sanchez,
He
watching
went
you
back.
you.
funny as fuck.
I've been watching you
Nah,
since the flat Earth debate with Young Pharaoh. So we go
oh, okay.
way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salutes to
I've been watching
Pharaoh,
Sanchez
man.
for a minute.
Hey,
Yeah, man. I
man.
was
Yeah, I
17.
know it too, Jaden. You go back for real. I remember the name. And listen, y'all, I'm gonna be on some real flat earth shit like in my bag coming up, Flat Power. I'm gonna be on that channel, nothing but flat earth content on Flat Power TV. I'm gonna be uploading a lot of stuff over there. Be on the lookout
Yeah,
for that if you in chat room.
the way
Be trying.
the way you've been making your videos, the way you've been editing your videos, keep doing that because I've been watching the whole process. Just keep doing that. Keep thinking about new things, how to improve your channel and your visuals. But keep doing your thing, man. The shit is
Hell
looking
yeah.
fire, man. Come on, man.
Appreciate that, bro. Hell yeah. I am,
Yeah,
man. I
man.
appreciate that. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. I've been watching for a long time, man. I'm a big fan, bro. Really.
Yeah, I appreciate that love, man. I can't wait to have you back on. It's good energy, man. I vibe with y'all.
Yeah,
And
I'll be back soon.
Brooke, if you asking me if I'm gonna be back live tonight, I'm not gonna guarantee, but the weekend is here, so it'll be part of my. We'll be back over here to go live again if you want to join. If you listening to the video, peace and love to my panel. We
Peace,
out of
peace.
here.
And also,
Peace and love.
if you want to
Peace and
listen,
love.
and also,
Peace and
if you
love.
want to hear some, if you want me to send some beats to you, I will send some beats to you, man.
Okay, yeah, do that, man.
And
I
I
ain't
can
know you
also
do.
send you zip files so you can finish those beats, and you can send me zip files, and I can finish the beat, and we
You
have,
know what? Send me what I do right. Send me melody loops, and that's what I really be needing. I'm a producer, and when it come to the drums, I'm a expert at programming trap drums, drill drums, but loops,
Good. I'll send
melody
you.
loops. Yeah, hell
Yeah, I'll
yeah.
send you
I'll
melodies. I'll make samples too. I've been producing too.
hell yeah,
I
man.
just
Me and
dropped.
you. So look, if
I
I
just dropped a
ever
song. I
when
dropped a
it
song. It's called Twang with King Ego, country song. I just dropped it.
send me all your stuff, next show will open up with your music. But check this out.
Oh damn.
If I use any of your loops and shit, then it's produced by both of us, not just me.
Yeah, no,
I
yeah,
ain't
yeah.
that type of guy. Yeah.
Everything
Hell
is
yeah.
50-50.
Hell
Everything
yeah.
is
For sure.
yeah. Everything is settled.
So for sure, we out of here, y'all.